Hello, welcome to the Tabletop Sports Network.
The home of tSports.
Yes.
We're practicing that for a while.
Yeah, we have. My name's Rob, and this is Tom.
And I need to move.
Just say you say Nikos. So hello, welcome to the show.
I wish I was Nikos.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't, right? So me and Tom are going to be your commentators for this final game. We are here at the Echoes of War 4, run by the Vale Renegades, a Welsh gaming group. Cracking bunch of lads. Couldn't want to play 40k with anyone more, I don't think. You had a good time over the weekend?
I have, but I'm ready to commentate the last game. What do you think we'll be commentating, Rob?
Well, as I said at the top of the show, if you go back and watch round one, we 100% will be watching Marines, but in a crazy twist of fate, they will be playing against other Marines.
They will, yeah. No one expected that, did they?
No one. It blew my mind, and it's blown your mind.
We were shocked.
We were shocked. But what's cool is there is an Iron Hands list, but it's also against Crimson Fists. So it is different. I thought it might be Iron Hands, but it's not. I mean, there's an Imperial list walking around that's also really good, but it's going to be Crimson Fist. We've seen both of these two armies obviously play in the preceding rounds. We saw them actually play and win their matches in the last matchup, so I was very excited about that, because then you guys are following along in that kind of narrative thread, and now you know. We know both play styles as well, right? Kind of.
I mean, we saw both lists kind of go aggressive with infiltrators and scouts last game and try and tie everything up. We also saw an obscene amount of damage coming out of both those armies, so we'll see if they can take it as much as they can give it.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the key point, right? Like, is it going to be the extra damage coming from the Crimson Fists chapter tactics, the two vehicles, or is it going to be the resilience of the Iron Hands that really plays? How much is the terrain going to affect the game?
Yeah,
there's loads
specifically with those Nova Ls as well. We've got a hammer and anvil deployment this game, which means you're getting a big facing on that L. It's coming across the centre of the board.
Yeah, it's going to be really impactful. Can't wait to find out about it and to watch the game. If you are watching live, thanks for joining us. Please follow along in the chat, leave your comments, have a chat with us, let your friends know to join in the hot goss. Our table boss for the round is going to be Nikos. Tom's going to be doing the relays, and then Scrivo is going to be doing the camera work. So we've got a great team. Very much looking forward to this. Whoever wins this match is going to win the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, they are going to be the Vale Renegade champion. I can't think of anything I'd like to be more.
Echoes of 4-4.
Echoes of War 4 champion.
Echoes of 4.
Echoes of 4.
Echoes of 4 champion.
Okay, I don't know. That might be a joke because I spot some overlays wrong. Okay, let's go to the
No, I didn't notice that.
Let's go to the tabletop. So one of the things that just happened that we found off. So obviously, it's whole deployment. So each player deploys their entire army first. Well, specifically Liam has deployed his whole army first, which means he's going to get the choice to go first.
He is.
I think that basically decides the game. What do you think?
Well, that is a very interesting point, because this is the last time we're going to seize the initiative in ITC for a long, long time, as they have now removed it from the upcoming pack. This event, of course, not using the brand new pack, as it was only released a couple of days ago, and so we're not going to get to see that. But we were talking a lot about these Nova Ls and the amount of cover these things provide.
That's genuinely an exciting moment. This is the last siege you're going to see in ITC.
It is.
Yeah, and it's for potentially the win, because, as we talked about, if Liam gets the choice to go first, I think whoever goes first, because of the output, specifically coming from, because the lists in a mirror match are, like, they're very, very similar, right?
They do have their own strengths and weaknesses, but yes, their core is very, very similar.
Let's run through the lists.
So what you end up with is you have Liam Royal, and he's running his Crimson Fist. So in the corner here, you can see there are 3 whirlwinds. And then in the centre, you can see it's built around this brick of 6 devastated Centurions. They have Hurricane Bolters, and they have 12 Heavy Bolters. And they were kicking out a ton of damage last game, taking out 2 Chaos Knights by themselves.
There we go. Look at those whirlwinds. They're the ones.
They are surrounded by characters. There's a Mortis Dreadnought in there as well, a squad of 3 Suppressors, and a bunch of Intercessors. And then you have some Scouts there that are being used to fan out and really screen things from further afar.
That's the Crimson Fist army.
That's the Crimson Fist army, and on the other side, you can see here, is Jay and his Iron Hands. Now, I was talking to Liam a little bit before this game, and the thing he's really worried about is this Scorpius Whirlwind, because that kicks out a ton of damage. He was thinking about...
It's a relic from Forge World?
It is a relic
from Forge World. It's a relic in history for that chapter.
In history, yeah.
Yeah, they found it in a cave.
One of the things he was really worried about was potentially getting hit very hard turn 1 by this Iron Hands army if they do get to go first. So he was thinking very much that he'd like to have access to some of these quote-unquote magic boxes that are on the board, aka these squares. And the reason they're called magic boxes is because you don't really have a way to shoot into these things.
Nope.
You can stick your unit in there, you're nice and safe, because unlike ITC events, you ignore you count all ground floor of ruins as line of sight blocking, and these count as ruins.
However, these almost mirrored armies have got a great answer to that. Obviously, in a lot of Space Marine armies, we see the Thunderfire cannons as the answer. Yeah, we see the indirect fire coming from Thunderfire cannons. But in this, like you said, we've got the 3 whirlwinds here, we've got the 2 whirlwinds, and the relic whirlwind Scorpius. With that indirect fire, there's also a Thunderfire cannon in the Crimson Fist army as well. So 4 lots of indirect fire. How much do you think that is going to play into this game?
Well, normally I think it would play in quite a lot because you've got the magic boxes, of course, that we're talking about. It might just be that you're taking it in turn to lob things over the top of each other. One of the things Liam did last game was he had an objective next to one of these magic boxes because he was able to move it across because of the mission. And that meant that at the end of his turn, he could drop a stratagem that allowed him to be +1 to his saving throws for the next turn, which meant that now his Centurions were on a 0-up save, making them very, very hard to shift. Because these are out towards the side of the board, you can't do both at once.
No, you can't.
I was looking to do some really fancy swerves. Never mind, we'll have to do it like that. Now they're half towards the side. That means if you go over here and stick your Centurions in here, your pressure is essentially something like that. Meaning, you're giving up all this sway. Oh, hello, that's the wrong colour. Whatever, we'll add something over the top of it to make it fancy.
Yeah.
You're giving up all this sway of the board to your hands, meaning you're going to try and stick yourself in here. Now, I don't think he's going to be within 3 inches of this objective, meaning he can't use the stratagem to make himself +1 to save.
Oh, so do you think he's actually going to end up, do you think that this is an intentional deployment, right? He's going to move into here?
I would really hope not.
Okay, all right, well, because I have a question, because also this Scorpius being placed really far forward, because for me, I feel like, obviously these whirlwinds are going to do some really solid damage. Yeah. But I think the real kick out is these Devastator Centurions. So there's 6 Devastator Centurions in there. We saw them in a single turn. We saw them take out a Leviathan Dreadnought of Iron Hands. This was in battle round 2, maybe maybe battle round 3.
Might have been battle round 1, I think.
No, it was battle round 3, I think. Okay. But then we also saw them then almost kill out an Astraeus heavy tank with the Ironstone as well. So that, for me, is the real big threat. I think after that, the whirlwinds obviously are dangerous, but I think then this Relic Dreadnought, which is really carrying the other damage. So that's the parity difference, right? Ignoring the chapter tactics,
of course,
the difference is the Rally Dreadnought, which is 300 points, versus hidden behind that. It's a lovely shot of those Crimson Fists.
Very indeed.
Can I just say big shout out to Liam for painting all the hands red.
These hands.
Yeah. look how bloody and red my hands are. Great job there.
Big zoom. There we go.
There we go. They look lovely. Pedro Cantor is in there somewhere. Is this Pedro himself?
I don't know what Pedro Canto looks like.
No, he's somewhere else in the chat. But really, what you're trading off between these two armies, ignoring obviously chapter tactics, as I was saying, 300-point trade. You got the Devastated Centurions, 300 points for 6, 300 points for that Relic Leviathan Dreadnought. I think we got with the Seize Rolls coming in.
Oh, we do have a Seize Roll coming in. I really hope there's a little bit more to come from Jay over here. Just waiting for that one. But I was just very quickly before we get the Seize Roll, while he's still deploying some bits there, one of the things Lane was really scared of was, as we were talking about earlier, there's going to be this ignore line of sight blocking rule. So the thing that gives Jay the advantage in that is this Scorpius Whirlwind, which means that Liam really needs to get rid of that Scorpius. He's really scared of it. Now, there's a couple of ways he can do that. He can try and shoot it. Not going to work. That's the line of sight. You're not going to get your Centurions up to here to be able to shoot it. So you're going to need a couple of turns to do that. So how can you do it? Maybe if you go first, you can tag it with some scouts, charge it, and jump your Centurions out and bank on that and say, look, if you can get the Leviathan as well, that means there's no threat to these Centurions for walking out and prepping ready for the turn after to go after that Scorpius. So, what you could... although that said, it looks like Jay's going to be moving the Scorpius here to look somewhere else, keep it a bit more safe. Also, I'm looking at these whirlwinds here, and now, normally you think, oh no, those whirlwinds, they can get hit by the Centurions, because the Centurions, although they only have a 4-inch move, they have all those heavy bolters, 12 of those, 3 shots each. That's a lot of shots coming out. So you jump your Centaur, you're like, right, well, I can just shoot these. That's not a good idea at all, because what can happen there is, you're basically saying, right, you take my whirlwinds, I'm going to take your Centurions. You jump out with Centurions, and then the Leviathan Dreadnought jumps out and goes, pow!
Yeah,
all over your
I agree. I agree. I think it's super interesting on... obviously, who goes first is going to be really important. But then after that, and this cross-deployment... everyone in the chat who's just joined us, I know there's a lot of people rooting for Team Goonhammer for Liam. Anyone up on Jay's team? Obviously, Jay is rocking the Iron Hands. No one's a huge fan. This is the battle of fists. This is the battle of who's got the better hands. Palm. Yeah, what's better? Yeah, have you got a good fist or have you got a good red hand? Yeah, that's the secret. Still waiting for this deployment to go through. We're trying to join us as early as possible because it's all, in my opinion, going to be about this seize roll. Maybe it's going to be more, but both players set up to trade off. I do love... Oh, look at this. We've now split. We've now put this...
He doesn't think he'll fall for the bait.
Is that what you think it is?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And even if he does, if there's a way to tag this Leviathan, it's not going to make any difference anyway, because it means that the trade-off's not going to come back. So, what you've now got is you've got the Scorpius that's still near the front. You can't really shoot at it again. That's a really terrible line, but you understand the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
You can't shoot at that at all. Can you tag it? Now, if we look for some scouts here, I'd imagine there's some scouts that are stood at the top here. So then you've got 9 inches away, 6-inch move, and then it's an 18-inch threat range to charge into that. I'm not sure those scouts can be able to make it in to lock down that Scorpius, and if they try to, they're just going to get hosed by some intercessors.
I think that's very, very accurate.
Imagine if you took away these elves.
We actually, I know. Well, we saw, but I mean, to be fair, like these also are basically pretending the elves aren't there.
The problem is though, if you only had these and you had no elves, I'm like, well, I'm going to defend my army. I'm going to sit in this corner, and then the person who goes first just runs across the board and stands on the objectives because it's basically free. So those elves are creating a nice little interesting scenario with regards to how.
Yeah, but that's the one mission.
Yeah,
but what's nice is if you go back and watch the round before, round 4, you see both these two players. I think, like you were just talking about, those scouts or those units that go forward, they're not the Inceptors. They are the infiltrators.
Yes.
The infiltrators.
Yes.
Thank you. If you want to, the infiltrators. The infiltrators. They both players in the previous round sent them forward in a way to lock out these units in combat. Obviously, this feels like it's susceptible to it. I'm not sure about here, but it depends. But some long bomb charges just
I feel like he's just screening this out just in case, just to make sure.
Because I think if you leave that, because
I think you have to be outside of 9 inches of the deployment zone anyway, so it's not really a deep strike. It's more of a I get closer to your deployment zone.
However,
so I think he's going to be.
No, I hear you, but if this is that line. This isn't too bad. I know it's 9 inches away.
I'm not sure if it's hammer and anvil though. I think it's hammer and anvil, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Okay, so how are these here? Are these eliminators? The eliminators just stood. Oh, they're the infiltrators. That's why. So it is the pointy hammer and anvil. It is the not frontline assault.
Oh, hold on. Lupe Calacal in the chat has just said that the indignant infiltrators are instigating initiatives and intriguing interplay. I couldn't agree with him more. Yeah, I think it's interesting, innovative, and possibly enlightening.
I think we're going to get the seize roll up. It's going to come up in a dice.
It's not yet. Hold on.
Not quite yet.
Hold on.
It's coming.
Hold on. I know you're excited.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see how.
Because currently, the situation is that Liam gets to choose. Liam is 100% going first.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Okay, we're all assuming so.
Yeah. Otherwise, that Scorpion's going to bombard him quite heavily.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's still a whirlwind. It's not very durable. That's why I don't like taking them personally, especially when Eldar planes are floating around everywhere.
That's true. We see a lot less of them. Here
we
go. Maybe it's happening. Oh, he's giving him a dice.
Here we go.
He's giving him a dice. Good luck. Oh, it's all to Jay.
He's missed it.
He missed the tray. It's okay.
Well, what was it?
But what was the result? That's the real
It was
question.
a 5. It wasn't out of C's.
It was a 5.
Right. We have it all set up for him, and he just whiffs it for us. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so I guess what we're going to end up seeing here is we're going to see a pretty conservative turn again. We're not going to see something massively pushing into these lines too much. It is worth touching upon the bonus point this game as well. So there are 5 objectives set up around the board. I'll put a blue one there.
Can we not just take a moment to emotionally digest the sadness of the no C's?
No.
No? You're not bothered. Everyone in the chat.
If you can't hit the dice tray, you don't deserve to win anyway.
No, I agree with Twitch Village Idiot. Yeah. I mean,
this is IRL Village Idiot Jay missing the tray.
Yeah, if you just can't.
Oh dear. So those 5 objectives.
Yep.
You get your bonus point if you have 3 characters, each within a controlling range of a different objective. Okay. So, there's a lot of characters over here, Rob. You've got quite a few characters built up inside of this Crimson Fist blob here. You also have a few in the Iron Hands Brick 2. The issue is, for Liam, not only do you have the small characters which normally give you your buffs, like your Apothecary, your Lieutenant, your Pharos, which is pretty much mandatory, both of these Dreadnoughts, the Leviathan and the Chaplain Dread, are also characters. So, if you can park your Leviathan on one of these objectives, you only need 2 more suddenly to actually do a lot of work with regards to pushing forwards onto these bonus point
So
objectives.
just we've had an update from the table. The Ironstone is on the Scorpius instead of
Good
the.
choice.
So why do you think that is?
Well, because we were talking a bit earlier about how vital the Scorpius is for winning the line of sight battle. If you only have 3 whirlwinds and 1 thunderfire cannon, you don't really do too much. You can still do a decent amount, but when you're comparing that to 2 whirlwinds, a thunderfire cannon, and a Scorpius over a regular whirlwind, that's going to tip the balance of favour in Jay's direction, even if he is going second, because that Scorpius can be doing a horrendous amount of damage. If Liam can nail that Scorpius and take it straight out with his whirlwinds, then we're going to have it swung a little bit more. I can hear from the tabletop as well. Yep. So we're getting a bit more information coming back now. We're just going to get Rob working some stuff out. We're just having a quick look here, seeing where Liam is moving to. It looks like he might be coming out the side of that big L, Rob. Not entirely sure what he's thinking he's going to move, because we were talking a bit earlier about the possibility that could be a trap to lure the Centurions out for the Leviathan. Obviously, with the Whirlwind now back towards the side, it's not so much a bigger, a juicier target. You've still got a lot of intercessors here that can be hit.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be very interesting how he set up, because he set up blind, not knowing how the rest of the army was going to be set up, right? And like, how do you tend to deploy in these situations?
I mean, it's difficult to really tell, because if you know you're going to be going second, it depends on the mission. So if I'm playing like ETC or what have you, let's say I'm playing my Grey Knight army, what I'd normally tend to do is I tend to stick my stuff like here, or then if I'm going, if I'm worried about, let's say, Assault Centurions here rather than Devastators, I'm probably going back, but as it's shooty ones, it's good to go in the front because you like to take board center. We've been talking a lot about what you're able to pressure from the center of board. If you're in the corner here, that's going to impact your range, because let's say I have 36-inch range weapons. Well, that's going to take me up to potentially here or whatever, or potentially here, right? So that leaves an entire big section of the board that you can't really touch. If you're stood instead in a nice piece of safe terrain in the middle of the board, then you can hit everything.
No, yeah, that makes loads of sense, but then you also can be hit by everything.
It depends. Well, it depends, because let's say, well,
hold
let's
on,
take a look here.
But before we talk about that, let's have a conversation about what is happening in the movement phase. We just find out about these devastated Centurions. So definitely, in my opinion, one of the biggest threats on the board. I'll just get that. They were thinking about moving out of their little L. However, not all of them can get out. Yeah. So I think that's a question. I would say that one of the... so there we go. We've got...
this is going to be an important action as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important. And I guess really, if he drags them out, that potentially brings out the Leviathan Dread. Yeah. And if the Leviathan Dread comes out, I think he's looking for this shot. I think that's the plan. I mean, obviously you can hit here anyway. The Whirlwinds are 60-inch range?
The Whirlwind's a very long range.
48 or 60 inches. 48 or 60
so
inches.
So this is a question. Let's say the Centurions stay here, hypothetically. Do you then bring the Leviathan out to go here and shoot at these Whirlwinds? Because that would give you a massive advantage in the ignoring line of sight shooting war. The problem is, we saw this game earlier, didn't we? Round 3 against the Astraeus and the Leviathan. We saw this army in the Crimson Fist remove that Leviathan.
We did.
Do you think Jay knows that?
I don't think we did. No, I think he knows. I think he knows the power and the output of it. Jay seems like a pretty switched on fellow. Got the chance to obviously talk. Jay's actually gone for 2 beers. That's how invested he is.
Welcome to the top table, everybody.
Welcome to Warhammer. Like, no matter how much we talk about it being a sport, almost everyone is going to be drinking a beer with their mate at some point.
Say that,
and I don't think it should ever change.
Well, you say that. He's got 2 beers, one for him, one for his opponent. There's 5 other people around this table.
I know,
He's completely neglected
I know,
them.
right? Just come on. Jay, when you watch this back, just know. So we've got +1 to wound, which has been put on.
So that would be from, I believe that would be from the Chaplain's Litany.
Yeah, and it's been put on the intercessors that are just on the edge of the L.
And that to me indicates that he doesn't really want to bring these Centurions out. Obviously, as I had quite a bit of time to measure it and have a check and see if it's
I wonder if he's...
Instead,
we'll find out from our table boss. Table boss says he moved them a little bit so that he will be able to get them out next turn. That's the real question. Oh, no, okay. So if he does do that, so then it will look like... So then also, what I think is interesting is, do we think that he was planning... Obviously, at deployment, that he was going to come this way, and this was going to be his arc of fire. Yeah,
potentially, but then Jay's obviously come all the way down here and just hidden.
So that counter deployment has that counter deployment has definitely affected him. So now he hasn't given himself both options, and that might make him come undone. I mean, obviously we've still got 3 whirlwinds and a thunderfire cannon to do some shooting, and those intercessors to start whipping in. So there's not nothing in there. One of the things also I think that's quite different between the Iron Hands and the Crimson Fist. Obviously, Crimson Fist have got that ability to do a lot more damage to those vehicles. So the suppressors that are just here, they've got +1 to hit. But also, you've got the ability to heal inside the Iron Hands army, right? I mean, that's huge, because we saw in that Eldari game, not enough wounds done to the Relic Scorpius, and he's starting to heal it up. They also the weapon profiles on Iron Hands, when you half them, they double. So that's going to have a really big effect, because any chip damage that comes into these vehicles is going to be, not anywhere near as impactful as Liam would hope.
Especially with the Iron Hands trait as well, doubling the number of...
Yeah, that's my point,
damage. Yeah. So, the thing I'm really curious to see here, Rob, is the intention of these suppressors.
Yeah.
Now, suppressors can do a lot of damage, but it's all high-quality shots rather than high number, right? So, if I have a look at these suppressors, I'm wondering, do you think they have line of sight to the Scorpius, or do you think they're going into the intercessors?
Their own one. Yeah. So we're just hearing that the Centurions are stepping back. Yeah.
That looks like they're prepping, ready to get out next turn if they need it.
They are stepping. They're stepping back. Well, no, actually. So Liam. So we'll say this quietly so we can't hear. So Liam was measuring up his Smash Captain charge.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't forget, both players have also got that in their back pocket as well. Another threat.
The thing we're looking at here is there are some intercessors or infiltrators at the front here on that objective from a scout move, and then you have inside the corner for Liam is his Smash Captain in there. So that doesn't look like a particularly long charge. Again, we're talking about trades though, because that's all this is going to be. This is a question of who gets to make these better trades. So if Liam goes for the charge here and he takes out these infiltrators, is that worth losing his Smash Captain over? I'm not sure it is, especially with the bonus point. Although you could argue the bonus point isn't a massive factor anyway, because it's just...
What, the mission point?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, has anyone ever played for the mission point?
Yes, me.
Okay. Suppose you've got the Eldar, it's easy to get to those places.
Whenever I play OTC, bro.
Yeah. So can we please look at the secondaries, because I think that's a thing to talk about as well.
Yeah, so what Liam has gone for, he's gone for old school, so that means that he needs to get something this turn, which could be behind his decision to go quite aggressive with these presses and with these intercessors. The reason for that is old school has a point in it called for a strike, which means you need to kill a unit in your first turn.
I'd also argue that the thing he's done with the suppressors, we're into the shooting phase now. That Lascan Dread is going to do nothing.
Mortis.
Yeah, he's going to do nothing there. Those Centurions waiting to go. Cantor's in there as well. Do you know Cantor gives reroll all hits?
He does. He's got a better one than Drago, because Drago only has the old wording.
Yeah,
which makes it very sad.
So some intercessors got conjugated martyrdom. I would argue, though, I'd just like to point out something that's happened here. Those guys are also screening well.
Yes.
In case of any infiltrators going forward, right? And also, but he hasn't given himself any room here. But I would say that, would you not say that he's redeploying to make sure he doesn't get hit?
So I believe, well, one thing just there, cogitated martyrdom, I believe, is you pass wounds off from a dreadnought onto another unit. So that implies that someone can see one of these two dreads. This chaplain is a character, can't be targeted. So does that mean that this Leviathan without its Ironstone is now visible? Or does it mean that we're firing some whirlwinds into these later on?
I think we're going to fire whirlwinds into them. We just heard that the suppressors have been shooting into this unit of intercessessors.
Infiltrators at the front.
The infiltrators at the front, and they've used...
that's big. Right, here's why. Because you know how earlier...
Hold on, he has made them more survivable. He's used transhuman physiology on them.
Really? Yeah, that's a curious decision, because we were talking earlier about how there was a Smash Captain, Fall In, stood in the corner of this L, looking for this charge. So what Jay has done here, by removing the model off of the objective, obviously he's not holding it, but he has made it very hard for that Smash Captain to make a charge across the Valley of Death we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. The Valley. No one wants to be inside the Valley, not at all. So a very limited shooting phase. I'm sure we're going to see the whirlwinds starting to fire at one point. Not forgetting that you can see those dice rolls in the tray if we set it up, Scrivo. There you go. If we find out what's being rolled for.
it could entirely be possible that he's used transhuman physiology for a couple of reasons. The first reason would be he knows that Liam needs to kill a unit in the first turn. He knows
so hold
this
on.
unit is very
So the
easy to
whirlwinds are going for the Scorpius now.
Really?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
there we go. I guess Cogitated Martyrdom has to be used at the start of the phase, so just in case he was going to shoot the Leviathan, that was probably a sensible thing to do. We are going to see how much damage is going to come through on the Scorpius, though, because that's a big target, as we were talking about, because it really does swing the balance of power in terms of ignore line of sight.
Yeah, so I think we're about to see some damage prevention rolls coming in. Yeah, so these are damage. So he failed a lot of saves. These are the damage prevention rolls. As you can see, he's only saved the one there, so that's a lot of damage into the Relic Scorpius with the Ironstone. So he's taken, I think,
a considerable amount of damage at least.
9 damage.
Yeah.
9 damage. So it is. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now we're rolling to hit into wound with the. This is
second whirlwind.
This is the second whirlwind going. That was only the first whirlwind.
Oh my word!
And I think he's just wounded with everything. That's what I've just seen.
Here come the saves. Coming straight through. It looks like one failed save in there as well. That could still be enough. We don't have very many wounds.
No. Here's the DPR save. It's not gone through. It's
gone.
Dead.
Now, does it explode?
Huge.
That's the most important thing. I think that 4 was a roll to see if it explodes.
Yeah, that was a roll. It didn't explode.
That's huge for a number of reasons. Firstly, old school point. That's immediately achieved.
That's a point on the board. Who doesn't like a point on the board?
1 point for that. 1 point for killer unit as well. Now you've also got the balance of power in terms of long-range shooting that ignores line of sight in your favour. So now you've got 3 whirlwinds versus 2 whirlwinds and a Thunderfire cannon, and you've got a Thunderfire cannon on your side as well. Which is
why we were talking. Which is why we were talking about that first turn. It's so important because it's those whirlwinds that are dominating the tabletop.
Yeah.
Everything else has got more output, but the whirlwinds over the course of the game, because they're basically untouchable, because you have to go through the other death field of short range stuff.
You're untouchable unless you're a whirlwind. So it looks like these whirlwinds are going for more whirlwinds to try and tip it even further. I don't think it's going to achieve too much because, as we said earlier, you do have the Iron Hands.
Chapter tactic.
Exactly, which means that even if you do 7 or 8 wounds, you're still going to act on full profile, although it will chip some wounds off, ready for next turn, and I believe that Iron Father Pharaoh is somewhere in the middle of the Iron Hand brick anyway, whereas the whirlwinds are out towards the side, which means they're not going to be healed by the Iron Father.
But those Scorpius is suffering that damage. That Scorpius going down so quickly to basically only the 2 whirlwinds, is huge, it's also got him a big game hunter as well.
I think I pressed the side button.
Yeah.
That's okay. I've just messed something up on the NDI, guys. That's fine. I'm not used to using technology as
good. All right. So
I'm used to steel and some hammers.
So in the shooting phase, the other whirlwind here has shot into this other whirlwind at the bottom right hand corner, and that's also down to 4 wounds as well.
Although, as we were talking about, counters being on 8 wounds, it's still going to fire normally, but next turn that thing is a goner.
It is, absolutely, and these whirlwinds just showing how worthwhile they are and why both players who were already on 4 wins have included 3 of them in their army. So now we're going to get the suppressors firing as well.
This presents an interesting choice for Jay here, because earlier we were talking about, does Jay bring out the Leviathan and have a shoot at these whirlwinds? Now, if he does, it means that these whirlwinds will probably die, but the Centurions are going to come and absolutely obliterate that Leviathan, regardless of what's around it. If it doesn't, it means that Jay is going to continue to get battered by these whirlwinds at the back.
Yeah. Can we get the dice cam back? 100% Chem X. Yeah, I don't know why it went away during the shooting phase. Definitely when it should be there. 100%. Those points up 3-0 on the board. There's the suppressors firing right now.
They look good, those.
Yeah, they do. They do look really good. So we just find out what's being shot at now.
What will we be seeing? I guess we're still working out what exactly we want to go on here. Got Jay with a lot of dice in his hand. Looks like he's going to be taking some saves or something right now. It's just having a bit of a work. The suppressors are fired. So that means that they're not going to be firing any more of this phase, so it doesn't look like there's going to be too much left coming out.
No, there isn't.
There's already enough damage that's been applied.
Yeah. There isn't going to be enough. The shooting phase has already gone incredibly well, right?
Oh yeah, that Scorpius died. If you could have said to Liam, "Hey, you get to go first and kill the Scorpius, but you don't get to kill anything else in the phase. How do you feel about it?" He'd probably be okay with it, even if it's an unlucky turn.
So right now we're getting some more. We're getting some more. So the Thunderfires are shooting into the intercessors.
Yes. The intercessors down here, potentially. Those, I believe these are infiltrators, so I'm guessing it's part of this big brick here. See how much damage we can apply to these. Yep, some of the ones off the backside have gone down. So it means we've lost a couple of intercessors, a lot of wounds on a whirlwind, and the Scorpius is gone. Overall, a very, very good turn for Liam, I think, especially the 3 points.
Two more dead intercessors as well. I mean, I know taking out intercessors isn't that particularly a big deal. But
Lieutenant's having some pot shots now as well.
So some good old pot shots. What do you think the return is going to be for Jay? What could he possibly do back?
It all comes down to what he does with this Leviathan, because I'm really, really concerned about what he's going to do with this. I'm not sure that he can afford to run that thing into the enemy army and try and take out those whirlwinds. I think he just has to bunker down and try and take it off. Oh, it's so hard to say that. Those whirlwinds, you already see how much damage they do.
No, you can't bunker down.
At the back.
Like, I think that's why the first turn, we've seen this in every other version of this game. It's a tough nut to crack. Like, we saw the Eldar try, we saw the Imperial Knights, or not the Chaos Knights try, but not really succeed. You have to get to the whirlwinds, yeah, but you can't get through the firepower here. Same situation here. You have to get to the whirlwinds on this side, but you can't get through this here. Yeah. So what you end up with, it just rolls off to see whose whirlwinds get to fire first.
Exactly, and because these whirlwinds on the Liam side got to fire first, they got to remove the whirlwinds, and now he's just going to win that war of attrition with the whirlwinds.
He is going to win that war.
So Jay needs to intervene to stop that from happening. But if he does, he's going to lose his Leviathan. Now, what we could have done was Jay could have used prepared positions.
Well, we're just hearing from our table boss, though. He regrets massively not doing that. Yeah, he feels like he should have. That would have obviously, I mean, some of those saves that we saw previously meant that, unfortunately, some of those saves that happened previously meant, that went through and caused the damage. Stuff, I mean, why wouldn't he use prepared positions? He was trying to save the CP.
I'd imagine so, yeah. I mean, it's not like this list is particularly CP heavy, is it? I mean, you've got a lot of stratagems that you need to be using. We've seen Cogitated Martyrdom used. We need Duty Eternal to be used as well. Transhuman Physiology was also used on these guys at the front, the infiltrators. And although they're still alive, it doesn't really matter too much. The important stuff has gone down. The Scorpius is down. That whirlwind at the bottom right has taken quite a bit of damage here as well. So, if we look at the points, that's one big game hunter to Liam. That's one old school to Liam, and that is one kill and one hold for Liam as well. So, in total, he's only killed 1 unit though. So it is possible that Jay can come back here, kill 2 units, but he'll have to go for it quite a bit. However, I don't know if him going for it right now is beneficial for him in the long run. We've already
honestly, look, I know, he obviously knows that he should have gone for prepared positions. That's fine, but ultimately, looking at this matchup, if he doesn't go out and just get involved, I don't know what.
He has to get lucky.
Yeah. He just has to. He just has to. Not committing at this point. There's no point in being cagey. We
die slowly.
Yeah, we just die slowly. We saw the Tower do it. Die slowly. Yeah. We've seen all sorts of people do it, but die slowly. I just don't know what the situation. I don't know how you do anything other than just commit full aggro mode and give him too many units to deal with. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think.
If he does sit back and do nothing, he's just going to lose the game. He either loses the game by a small margin by just sitting back, in which case my defensive just team event brain just coming in saying that's what I'd probably do. But equally, because we're in a singles event, he needs to win the game. And to win the game, the play has to be, even if it's a narrow path to victory, it's one he's got to walk.
That's a really good point, actually. If you're looking at this game versus a Worlds game, so looking at something like the upcoming WTC, obviously in a WTC environment, you're gonna be playing for minimum points, right? You're gonna be you potentially gonna
get battered.
You're trying to get scraping those points for your team, but then ultimately, if you can't get that, then but at a singles event, that's not what you're here for. Singles event, you're here for every point, so you can succeed and win at the tournament. There's some snipers. Who are they going to be lined up to get?
Well, just carrying on that point, if you lose at a singles event, what does it matter? You've lost a game. If you lose massively at a team event, you've potentially put a massive burden on your team to carry, whereas losing by a minor loss actually has quite a bit of weight in a team event. Vis-a-vis eliminators, they're having a look at things now. It looks like Jay is pushing up a little bit towards these magic boxes, quote-unquote, which are here and here on the map. We have got some eliminators moving in here. He's moving quite a few Marines towards that side, towards the gap that he had down on the south side of his L.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing the exact opposite of going aggro. I don't think. Well, I don't know. We haven't seen the Levy Dread.
Aggro.
Yeah. We don't know if we've seen the Leviathan Dread go yet. Like, that really is the question. Are we going to see that Leviathan Dread pop out? I mean, if we don't, we don't. But
I think we have to, though.
I think he has to. He just has to. Like, and then you're going to get to see that devastating output that's going to come from those devastating Centurions. There we go. He's going.
Having played in a team with Jay, I know one thing he's very, very good at is getting lobbed into something that's going to smash him and not losing horribly. I need to see him not do that now. I need to see him go for it. And it looks like the only thing that Leviathan Dread is going to be in range of is a squad of intercessors with the +1 to wound. It was cast by Vale from Chaplain earlier in the turn.
Yeah.
So that's going in there, but it is still going to keep cover. It's still touching the base, and it's still making sure it's relatively well obscured to make sure it's getting that cover save as well. Because not only is it an incredibly valuable base
but this turn, this turn, it's going to get all 3 of the whirlwinds at it. Yeah, I mean, if they're alive, it's going to get all 3 of the whirlwinds at it, and it's going to get, like potentially. Oh, I don't know. It depends what happens. It depends if it takes out any of the whirlwinds. But I really.
Depends if the Centurions pop out, because you have got the Centurions on the bottom side here, and the Centurions can just jump out and have a go. If you're Liam and you think, well, I can just jump out and kill the Leviathan here, because not only does it do a lot of damage, it's also a character bonus point as well. You can do and you think you can kill that, you might as well go for it. Techmarines had a bit of a heal of a Whirlwind. It's moved across, made sure that Whirlwind's okay. It won't be Ferias though, because it looks like he's too far away. You can still cast the Ironstone upon this Leviathan Dread here, make it incredibly durable to shoot at, but it is going to be a problem, because as we saw in the last game, Liam just sat inside of his bunker and just hid there, because he didn't need to jump out, he didn't need to take the risk. Does Liam need to take the risk here? I'm not so sure. Looks like we're having Jay Smash Captain move up to the top section of the L in his deployment zone as well. Seeing if we can line something up there, potentially only on the bottom, but either way, it's just hovering around, so if anything walks into the centre of this valley, it's going to get charged.
Well, no one's going to charge anyone, are they? This isn't a game of charging.
This is
40k, let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Everyone is going to stand next to each other and shoot really close, and occasionally we might see some poor scouts sent into the fold.
We might, yeah.
Yeah, or some infiltrators, but we haven't seen either of those at all.
I think if we see either of those things happen, it's going to be from the side of Jay, because remember, hold more is counted at the end of the battle round, and as Jay has bottom of the turn, he can just go, well, I'm going to lob a unit of scouts on here. I now hold more. Congratulations, I've got a 3 point. Admittedly, I'll lose some scouts, I'll lose some intercessors, and maybe you lose a cheeky character or something. And if you lose a cheeky character, well, you sit on 3 objectives. That's a bonus point, Rob.
Can anyone think why Iron Hands would be playing against Crimson Fist narratively? I mean, with the exception of the fact that obviously they're all neo-fascist space warriors.
It's heresy, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Maybe they're the Dark Angels. So we're into the. Oh no, we're still in the movement phase. Okay, it's a great question. It's because John hasn't flipped. Have you flipped the mirror image yet? Okay. All right. It's because Carlos has asked a question about the top down. It's like. Because it's actually upside down and flipped.
Have you seen War of the Worlds?
I have seen War of the Worlds. Tell me some things. Tell me some things about it.
Charging up the tripod down the section. So Ferias is employing some more rolls because he has so many little rules for his points. He has buffed up some units. They're going to be doing some extra shooting. It looks like Jay's going to get into a shooting phase now, making sure he lines up all his shots, and he's doing his Leviathan first. We know he loves to shoot his Leviathan, and we're going to let him shoot it first, especially from the last game with the Uncan, and that's going into the intercessors. Hopefully we can get a dice cam on that one, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to. Might be a bit tricky, but that is pretty much the only thing the Leviathan can see. It's only got a short range, so it's going straight into those intercessors now. Alright, there we go. The missile's going on the Whirlwind as well, because he has 2 mounted Hunter-Killer missiles on his shoulders that he's going to be launching off, and then his main guns are going into the intercessors. So there's 1, there's 2. That's what he's looking to kill. Maybe he gets lucky and does a lot of damage to that Whirlwind.
Yeah, so Riemann Knight Spirit, we only concentrated on this game for this round, because last game we commentated on 2 tables. This was these 2 players plus their opponents leading up to this. This is all about who's going to win the event. That's what we've been working towards over the weekend. It's been an amazing experience. As we've seen Necrons play Orcs. That's been fun. We've seen a whole bunch of Iron Hands. We've seen some Eldari. We've seen giant tanks and a Taunar battle it out. But now we're
into... Seen Astraeus' blow up. It's been spectacular.
Yeah, but now...
I've collapsed.
Yeah, you have.
It's been good. It's been good. So the Leviathan's fired its missiles at Warwind, and they've only done 4 damage rolls, so it's not a massive amount of damage. We're now going to roll the Storm Cannons, which are the main guns from the Leviathan, into the Intercessor over here. Going to see how many he can take off. Remember, they don't have a Feel No Pain. I don't believe there's a Grey Shield in there either to give these Crimson Fists access to the Iron Hands Chapter trait plus Feel No Pain. So it might do a lot of damage. APR, my mistake.
So a point I'd like to make in the chat, obviously, as you guys are going through, I'd kind of want Liam. I want Liam to win because I actually like the fact that he's going to beat Iron Hands. I also want Iron Hands to win because just the more examples of Iron Hands dumb rules, it just reinforces the point that it needs a change. I don't want you to. We don't work for a company. We work for ourselves, and absolutely, Iron Hands are dumb, broken, and terrible for the game.
As opposed to Marines, which are perfectly fine.
Well, no, all Marines, all Marines.
That's a squad wipe on the Intercessors. I believe that was only a squad of 5. It wasn't a big squad of 10. But that's a kill unit for Jay there. We still need to find him a second kill if he's going to contest the kill more point that Liam currently has. Although, in fact, Liam only killed 1 unit, didn't he? So
no, he did only kill the 1 unit, yeah. He's already contested it. But so in the first turn, if you've just joined us, like Almighty Bacon has, Liam, he wants... Dan H wants to let Liam know that he's watching. We lost a Relic Scorpius Whirlwind here in turn 1, and then this Whirlwind at the bottom has been reduced down to 4 wounds.
It has been healed back up again by the Tech Marine, though, so it's a little bit more healthy. A Tech Marine managed to run it down here. We've still got quite a few units to shoot from Jay here. The Chaplain Dread's now going to have a pop at the damaged Whirlwind. We've still got these 2 Whirlwinds at the back for Jay, also still to fire. I believe he likes to hold
we've had the Relic Leviathan.
We've had Relic Leviathan, so you've got little bits of Intercessors that are shooting around Jay's brick over here, and you've got the Chaplain Dread over there as well. He normally likes to hold his Whirlwinds for last, because that means he can just pick off little things that are hiding in ruins that everything else might not be.
Well, he's got 1 last... 5 damage gone through.
9 in total, so he's got 1 or 2 wounds left. 2 wounds left.
Come on. I want the wounded guy to do it.
Go on, man.
Yeah,
Get vengeance.
Just be like, you're
literally
so close.
Call the vengeance launcher.
Yeah, call the vengeance on him. That's what he wants.
Launch some vengeance.
Also, look, some big things. Also, clumping those guys around. A cheeky explode. You saw how massive explode was in the last game.
Yeah.
Almost cost. The Iron Hands the game last game.
They did,
with some very cool explosions. So these vehicles obviously prone to some very great in-game cinematic moments.
There are some absolutely lovely suppressors here that you can blow up all over.
You want to do some mortal wounds all over? I agree. Do some mortal ones all over. Have you ever tried to in this situation? Would you be tempted to whittle down the center one as well, aiming for the chain explosion?
Often
a terrible decision.
Often I'd be tempted to, but here I'd want to finish off this Whirlwind just because it is worth that kill more.
I mean, it's a way more prudent choice.
Yeah.
It's just as an Orc player, that would be maybe one of my thoughts. One of the things I'd go to.
We do have some instances.
Whirlwind is dead though, and he hasn't exploded.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Shall we try another one?
Come on, let's
go. That one. If we can fire both these Whirlwinds. Remember, the first Whirlwind to fire at the Scorpius last turn did 9 damage to it.
It's genuinely very cinematic though. Like in my head at the moment, I'm really enjoying it because what's happening is obviously there are 2 ground forces. They're kind of hunkering out. They're popping around the corner. They're doing some shots, and then just overhead missiles are just firing. Yeah, screaming through space. Yeah, and then just like whacking each other on this Playmobil map.
You see, Rob, I love flip-flopping, and if Jay is able to kill a second Whirlwind here, I think I'll flip-flop back to Jay in terms of having the ignore line of sight advantage here.
And then advantage.
When Liam kills the remaining 2, it's all gone. Intercessors are now firing into the remaining suppressors. Now, remember, Jay has already picked up his kill more points. Everything he does now is mainly to remove units for Liam, so he can't do as much damage back. The suppressors are already gone, mate.
The suppressors are dead.
I finished my sentence, and they're gone.
There you go.
Look how fast that was.
Suppressors that were here
I thought these were defensive Marines.
Who? The Iron Warriors?
Iron Hands.
Iron Hands.
Yeah, these are meant to be very aggressive
Well,
ones. These are meant to be even defensive
See, the
ones.
thing about Iron Hands is it's much easier to hide, yeah, because their colour pattern is quite muted.
Especially on this
Where if
board.
you're a Crimson Fist, you literally have got a red hand of justice.
Hello, give me a
and
wave.
everyone in the world can see you. It's much
They
easier.
can see you coming. It's like
Plus,
the
the
Space Wolves.
suppressors only have 2 wounds, right?
So I've been listening to a lot of
2 or 3?
suppressors. They only have 2. Yeah, they're very cheap. So I've been listening to a lot of Horus Heresy audiobooks recently, Rob, because I drive around to places, including Cardiff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've been listening about is how the Space Wolves love to basically show their enemies exactly what they're about so they know what's coming from them because it's scary in that.
Ooh.
That's what the Crimson Fists are about. They wave their big red hands in your face and they say, no, we are going to take you off the table and it's going to take us 2 turns.
Well, I think what we're going to find out right now is whether or not Liam is going to be caught red-handed, or he's going to be the red hand of justice. On the right-hand side, we've just seen a unit of intercessors, shooting into a unit of scouts and clearing them off the board. That's important.
Kill.
Yeah, it's another kill, but it's also important for Holdmore as well, which is looking pretty good. So he's got bottom, he's got top, so he's doing pretty well there.
Yeah, and he's got this one in his own deployment turn.
Yeah, so
he's got 3 of the 5. That's going to be Holdmore.
3 of the 5. That's Holdmore. So that's a bonus point. So kill more Holdmore. That's a 2-point swing this turn.
Boom.
Yeah. So a very successful phase. Unfortunately, he hasn't really dealt with a lot of the. He's dealt with a lot of units, but he hasn't dealt with a lot of the output.
Yeah.
And the output is those whirlwinds and those still to be seen devastating
I've
Centurions.
been really intrigued if we can just remove the dice tray for a second to see what Jay has picked for his secondaries. He's picked Big Game Hunter, which means one of the ones to cover, Gangbusters, which I believe is going to be based around killing the Centurions, because you get 1 point for every 3 wounds you take off the unit. Something like this. I mean, Engineers is something whereby you have to hide troops in little ruins, and you get 1 for basically burying around and for sitting on the objective and doing nothing. So,
I think Engineers is an odd choice in the environment where you're going to get line of sighted or you're going to get indirect fired all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why this unit is back here. But what it now means is for Liam, he can either choose to shoot at the Engineers, or he can choose to shoot at the things doing the damage. Or if you're Space Marines, you can probably do both. So you can jump out the Centurions here, maybe have a go at the Leviathan, and then you can go straight in there. We still have the Eliminators shooting the Centurions. I think it might have been something where they missed it, but potentially a good display of sportsmanship over there. It looks like it's an out-of-sequence transaction. Forgetting about those Eliminators. They are sneaky, they do like to hide.
Yeah, so these are the Eliminators up here.
That's true.
Right, so they're aiming at the Centurions right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
shouldn't do too much damage to the Centurions, but
no,
they
won't.
Ping shots.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
They're snipers. But they do something. Effectively, there's this unit of intercessors here that they can pop out and shoot back.
Yeah.
But it's keeping these characters honest. They've got the ability to shoot into those characters. We'll try and deal with that.
2 mortal wounds down on the Centurions, so that's going to contribute towards Jay's Gangbusters. I feel like one of the questions we've been asking quite a lot is kill the Centurion. Look at that. That's not a bad effort from his Eliminators. Good display of sportsmanship over there to let him go back and do that. So we've been talking a lot about what the Crimson Fist can kill in return from this turn, but obviously they can't just kill everything. You've got to make a decision. What are you going to shoot at? These Centurions, let's say they pop out, they can't just shoot at all the units we said they could shoot at. They're going to have to pick some targets. So I'm intrigued to see where Liam's going to move and what he's going to put his priority on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's some fair points made there, Tom. And it's 5-4 at the moment. But the whirlwind still got to fire. We're still in the shooting phase.
We're still in the shooting phase.
Still in the shooting phase.
We've been clocking up the points as we go. Both
well, if you know anything about Tom Layton, as both a commentator and as a sportsman, he loves rushing to the end. Yeah, I actually know that you sometimes turn a film on and you just skip straight to the last 4 minutes of a film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
last
line of a book.
Horus Heresy books, I just skipped to the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just saw the points go on. It was like, oh, well, we do that at the end of turns.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's
I guess not.
Yeah.
Mate, I finish in 30 seconds.
No one needs to.
My books. Yeah. Where's this? I'm holding this. Alright, fair enough. Cool. So, still got a lot of damage that we can apply with the Dying Hands. This has been a long shooting phase. Looks like we're going for the scouts, though. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that decision. Personally, I might have been tempted to try and go after those whirlwinds just because they are the output and you don't need to kill these little chaff units of superhumans to try and, you know, push the Crimson Hunters back. Crimson Fist back. Crimson Hunters, that's an Eldar flyer. I personally have gone for the whirlwinds. What do you think?
I think we're just going to have to wait until the shoot. We're going to slow ourselves down. We've been doing 3 tables of coverage all weekend.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to slow ourselves down and see what we think is going to happen over the next few turns. And these shooting phases are going to take a while. That's the nature of one game. But both these players deserve that tactical insight that's happened. Let us know what you think in the chat, who you're rooting for. I think we're into the charge phase now. So the shooting phase is over. So it's a very successful. So the infiltrators.
So I'm not.
Infiltrators where?
It looks like there's some infiltrators here.
No, just down here.
Okay.
The infiltrators here are going to be targeting the scouts.
There we go.
With a charge, and they've got in.
That's another objective that they stood on, I believe. That'd be pretty good. Just need to kick those scouts in the head with their big boots, and then they'll hold that one pretty decisively. And they've already got objectives secured anyway, which means that these units all hold objectives over other units, but you've got more of the infiltrators on that objective than you do scouts, and I'd imagine you have even more when they start kicking heads in.
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, I'm not certain what the counterplay is going to be, because when those Devastator Centurions step out, they are going to do nothing but the devastation that we expect of them.
That's why they're called Devastator Centurions.
Yeah, but I think the key point is whether or not you can draw line of sight, which I'm not certain you're going to be able to the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought, and that's the real issue. But it's also whether or not the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought, who is located here, whether or not he is going to survive this damage output here.
I think normally you would be able to, because the Relic Leviathan stuck his gun out here, but the reason why Jay was allowed to do this is because you could see where the Centurions had moved up to. So I think the Centurions may be down towards the bottom of this L here, which means they're ready to jump out and shoot this Relic Leviathan. That was a good play by Liam, because if they had moved towards the top side and tried to hide it over on the other end, just draw a little bit of a circly line here. If they'd gone somewhere like this yellow circle, the Relic Leviathan could have just poked its nose out, shot, and there'd have been no repercussions whatsoever, because there's no way you can draw a line of sight from that point at all. All you can do is then try and walk around the front or walk around the side and try and get down towards his bottom side, because of the way these L's operate. Effectively, you have a big pointy piece of terrain closing you down. If you stood here, then you've got line of sight drawing here. If you stood at the back, you've got line of sight that draws here. Either way, it's intercepting you like a goalkeeper rushing you down. Well.
So the infiltrator unit that are at the bottom are the unit
That's risky.
Are the unit of engineers.
There are 2 units. So engineers works where at the start of the game you pick 2 units to be your engineers. Now one of those units of engineers is up towards the middle of the board, right in front of this massive Crimson Fist brick. You then have the other unit, which I believe is at the back in the centre, stood on the objective. If these whirlwinds were to remove this squad of engineers, and then you could rely upon your standard infantry, your intercessors, and maybe a few shots out of some eliminators, maybe some centurions if you really want to remove them, you could probably get rid of both engineers in one fell swoop and remove Jay's ability to score 4 of his points. Have heard also, the scouts down bottom side has run away from morale.
Okay, so a victory there, and he's taken out a lot of units.
It's been a brutal turn.
Yeah.
Despite the lack of a Scorpius.
Yeah, Ty Winning in chat saying, remember when Dreadnoughts were useless in 7th? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Dreadnoughts now an absolute mainstay of Space Marine forces. But truth be told, even if you get rid of Dreadnoughts, the Space Marines have got so many decent units to fall back on. Obviously, you've got, as we've seen, these Whirlwinds, these Centurions. Like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's just very, very good. There's Space Marine Flyers.
Oh, that's a big thing. So I've just heard from the table. Both the Chaplain Litanies, +1 to hit on a unit, +1 to wound on a unit, failed. So what you do, at the start of the battle round, you nominate a unit within 6 inches of your Chaplain, and you can cast a Litany upon it. If you cast a Litany on a 3+, that unit gains a certain buff. It's like a weird psychic power you use at the start of movement phase where you only roll 1 dice. Now that is big for Liam, because if Liam was able to get those off, that would exponentially increase the amount of damage he can do. So, +1 to hit, obviously very, very important with these armies where you need those shots to be hitting and being effective. For example, Tyrannid Tyrannofex got very high quality shots. It doesn't hit very often because it hits on 4s, and thus you don't see it. You need these high quality weapons to be hitting, and you need to be making sure they also are consistently wounding, because at strength 5 and a high AP value, You can move it from wounding on 3s to moving on 2s, especially with Battle Lieutenant, where you're generating reroll 1s, giving you a very, very consistent wounding moniker. It means that you can actually be getting a lot of value out of these Stalker Bolt rifles.
Well, what's he going to do? It looks like the Centurions are sneaking out against the wall. That is incredibly...
It looks like they're touching it, so they'll be generating cover because they're infantry.
Yes.
That's
and he's
cheeky.
not even. And he's even. Look, what he's doing is all about denying line of sight, while it's like sneaking some in, and he's going to put all of those and clearing this space.
That basically means if you want to shoot the Centurions back, you are coming outside of URL, you naughty boy.
Yeah, but he is going to shoot them back. And what do you think it's sensible opening them up for this turn?
Well, we'll see. If it kills the Leviathan, yes. If it doesn't kill the Leviathan, absolutely not. It's pretty much a results-based business here. Yeah. If they do really, really well, it was a great play. If they do badly, well, that sucked, didn't it? It wasn't very good.
A lot. It would have sucked a lot. So they're not going to be able to counterplay here. Obviously, there's still the Thunderfire cannons, and you still got those 2 whirlwinds. Probably going to lose this whirlwind this time, right?
Probably. It's quite low.
Tywin in the chat thinks it's big bait.
I mean,
what do you think?
It depends. What you can do is you can fire your Centurions into this Leviathan Dread, and now, if you need a couple of extra wounds to go through, what else are you going to hit it with? That's an arrow towards a stratagem. You're going to hit it with then either the whirlwinds that you've got on your back corner or the Thunderfire can, just try and chip it off, and then if you take it down, you can then start focusing your fire on the whirlwinds, because at the end of the day, you absolutely need this Leviathan Dread to take some severe damage and probably die this turn, because otherwise, if it's left on 1 wound, you can heal it up with Ironfather Theros, and you can double its damage characteristics for the purposes of consulting the damage chart, which means it is an incredibly strong offensive weapon to be hitting back these Centurions.
There's going to be a lot of firepower incoming. I think this might be the telling point. I would say that Jay's played a really solid turn.
Yeah, Jay knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, losing that Scorpius early on has been really hard. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I would like to say that whenever Liam leads over the table, I do really like his hat, because it has a large crystal on the back of it. So you can always see that. It's lovely. He's not letting us see it though. He's sneaky. But never mind, that's okay. I'm really thinking about this. Do we think that those 4 Centurions by themselves, without +1 to hit and +1 to win from a chaplain, are going to have enough to remove the Leviathan? And I'm not entirely sure what they are. I guess we'll find out soon when we get to the shooting phase, because that's going to be a very, very crucial moment for this game.
It's going to be very important. Very important. We just got to take our time now, slow it down.
Can I just assume that Liam stops moving so I can get to the shooting phase where he shoots for Leviathan, please?
You excited about the payoff?
I'm apprehensive about the payoff.
You want to know what happens?
Oh dear, and I have to say, Jay's first turn, despite getting alphaed, was... Look at that. That was really big. So the Apothecary, absolute value machine, rolls a 4+ at the end of a movement phase to bring back a Centurion, which could make all the difference of the damage it does to this Leviathan. That Centurion is brought back on 1 wound, so I'd imagine a couple of little pling-pling shots are going to come out of Jay's army. It's assuming it's still alive after this turn, which I would assume it is. That means that Centurion will go down, and then you'd fire the Leviathan afterwards. Looks like it is probably... I would imagine it's the end of the movement phase, as that's when you bring models back anyway, though. So that would mean we're moving into either the second phase or the shooting phase, but we're just going to have to wait for confirmation to check that. Yep, that's true. So we are moving into the shooting phase. There is no martyrdom being used on any of the intercessor units, which means you're not throwing anything off. So Jay is going straight for it and seeing if he can just live on his own merits. I would imagine he has the Ironstone on his Dreadnought, though, but I'm just waiting for communication on that. I'm not entirely sure. I would just assume that's what he's done, as that would probably be the most efficient choice to stick that on as well. So I have to have a look at the ranges here. It looks like we're checking to see how many are in range of that Leviathan with their Hurricane Bolters.
So you're able to find the list in the chat if you'd like to see. Powered by Down Under Pairings. Actually, if you look at our leaderboard, we have our leaderboard available. Powered by Down Under Pairings in the chat while we're waiting. As you can see there, Liam on 140 points, Jay on 147. Now, obviously, there's also an Eldari list on table 3 that potentially can take out the event as well. But in this situation, it's looking like it's more and more likely to be either Liam or Jay.
I think it's going to be Centurions going in for a shoot now. Rob, I'm so ready. Yeah. Ooh,
Okay, so
everything is going into the Leviathan, and 6s to hit become an extra hit.
And they're all able to see the Leviathan.
Looks like they are, because you have this little gun poking out the side.
Oh,
remember,
because the
you
top
shot the intercessors.
Yeah, but also no. More importantly, because the top of those elves are actually wider than the bottom of those elves, so they give a bit of a false narrative from the perspective that we can see. Right there, you go. It looks a little bit so. This gun.
Yes, you can see
seems
it's poking out the side here. Look, this is like VAR.
Yeah,
I'm trying to draw
that
some weird lines. Yeah.
So close. That line of sight block there. That must
but
be
it's close by design.
I wonder if we can get our camera to check out that line of sight as we see these.
That looks like a lot of 6s, but it looks like it's also in the to wound category, which is the
wrong
one. Yeah. You should have done it with me other one.
A lot of 6s.
Whoopsie. Never
so
mind.
You can see in the dice tray on the side there, there's a lot of saves that need to come in. It's going to be very close.
Jay's, instead of reaching for his dice tray, he's reached for his beer because I think he needs it. He's put it back down again.
If he loses this Levy Dread, then it is game. Like
probably
because it's just too much output. Because then there's nothing to do with the Centurions. Then the Centurions are just going to go through. There you go. That gives you. Look at that. It's just the gun. Here's the gun.
There you go.
There you go. Great camera work. There's the Centurions in the distance. Wonderful view there. Thank you so much.
That was fantastic.
Go to the dice cam, please.
I think you're probably right, but I think there is one small ray of hope for Jay, even if this goes down. Can all of these interceptors, that's a lot of Space Marines, and that Chaplain Dread go for it and kill those Centurions? If they can, that is a brilliant turn for Jay, because that means now it's all whirlwind on whirlwind. See who can fire rockets over everything. 25 saves are coming in for Jay. Some of those will be AP -1 because they are heavy bolters as well, I believe. Unless these are all just the Hurricanes.
25 saves.
25. Oh, that's a lot of. That's some wounds there.
No, hold on, calm down. They'll tell us. They'll tell us.
Yeah.
So we've 25 saves in. 25 saves to make. We've seen the rolls there. We also. Ironstone on the Leviathan.
Earlier, Ironstone will be coming on the Leviathan because
I thought it was going on the Scorpius.
Last turn, because the Scorpius is dead this turn.
So Ironstone this turn.
Yeah, it's not a permanent thing.
So just waiting to see. So he's also don't forget he's also got his DPRs as well.
He does have his DPRs.
He's also got his DPRs. Yeah. So did he?
Some of those, I
think some of those were also mortal wounds, right? So that's why they went straight through.
I don't believe they are mortal wounds. No.
Okay. So that was just his marker for the Ironstone.
So yeah, that could be. Well, that's a few rolls in there.
Let's not do Rimmer's risk story. No one needs that.
There
we go. Only 2 failed saves. Only 2 failed saves. You do great. So the DPRs are coming in now. That's what's happening.
5.
Only 5 DPRs. Oh. So he's only 3 damage from those Centurions.
What a great unit. I would assume, is that all of these that's been fired into it? Have we got heavy bolters as well?
Oh, so let's find out from the table boss. Was that just the heavy bolters? Maybe he can't hear us.
That's entirely possible. It's okay. Looks like he might be moving on to another unit, but I'm not certain.
That was just the heavy bolters, so we've still got the Hurricane bolters to come.
The Hurricane bolters shouldn't do too much. Leviathans, remember, are strength toughness 8, and +1 to wound failed from the Chaplain, so you'll be wounding on 6s, and then you'll have a 2+ armor save on the Leviathan as well, followed by the 6+ DPR. I wouldn't expect too much damage to come through.
No, especially as we only saw 3, so we really have egged this on. And but what did we say before? It's about going out there and putting the work in.
Yeah.
Like and like we've said. He's put him out there. Well, I mean, he didn't really put it out there. He actually
he left it hanging what have I done?
He probably could have done very little less to put it out. He couldn't have put it out there less.
I know, but he's put it out there
a bit.
Liam has gone for it. So, do you feel like he's only just stuck it out just so Liam would think, "Aha, I've got you. You've made a mistake."
Oh, you think
Liam's
that's bait?
It could be. I mean, the chat seems to think it's bait. So it's
I don't know. I think Liam's did a really good job of hugging. But then potentially he could have just whirlwinded in again. But the whirlwinds have still got to go in.
They do. This is true. Although it has the Ironstone, so it's -1 damage taken for every hit.
But then maybe the smart play is what he's done that and he's dragged this out. Yeah. Put the Ironstone on it, and then the Whirlwinds go in and just take out the other dread.
It is a character though. So
it's a character, so you can't.
Dread, no.
Well, then I reckon then keep trading off with the Whirlwinds.
Yes,
I think that's the better play, because now the Levy Dread now has got to make a choice, and like he's got to go for these because he's the more immediate threat.
I don't know if Liam's got enough dice here.
He's got a lot of dice. We might need a bigger dice tray at this stage.
We're going to need a bigger dice tray. He's also still got the exploding sixes to hit as well from the
heavy bolter.
From his bolt weapons as an Imperial Fist. Your bolt weapons on sixes, you get an extra hit.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So because obviously the Crimson Fist are a successor chapter.
Have you ever worked in admin, Rob?
I've never worked in admin.
This is what working in admin is like. It's just continuously doing the same.
Just rolling dice over and over again.
Rolling dice, looking for sixes.
Yeah. Which is why some of these games can take quite a while. We've got an hour and 45 minutes though on the clock, so loads of this game still to come. That's why we're slowing it down a little bit, because absolutely anything could happen. But it's really about these slow trades. You know what the state of play is. I don't think you're going to see any big tricks. It's
all like, Space Marines. It's not that hard to play.
I mean, but realistically, we know what's going to happen. We know where the trades are happening now. It's just all about target priority and what he decides to do. In the next turn, Iron Hands, do they bring out these dreadnoughts and aim for the
Centurions?
For the Centurions, you feel like they have
Absolutely
to.
Do,
yeah. But then that leaves the Whirlwinds alone. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Is he even going to punch through the Centurions? Yeah. Are the Whirlwinds, when they're about to fire now, go mad? We just saw them take out that Scorpius in a single round. So there's still two of them. They can do the work.
Not a bad effort at all, is it, really? I think that's only taken one wound on his Leviathan from a Hurricane Bolt so far. So the 6 is to wound, the 2+ save, the 6+ DP are all coming in.
And they can heal. So do not forget the healing.
Heal. Is this Leviathan going to start the turn with more wounds and finish last turn? I don't think it is.
No, that happens in the movement phase.
I see. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so that won't happen. But also, good shout out from our cat eye in the sky, John. That Whirlwind in the bottom right-hand corner, which only had 4 wounds left. Only had 5. But it's got. Is that a Tech Marine next to it? Potentially heal it up?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so Tech Marine ran across during the movement phase of last turn.
How much by?
And then healed it for a couple of wounds.
For 2 wounds?
2 wounds.
So up to 5?
Indeed, yeah.
Up to 5. So it's down to 3, up to 5. So again, in this war of attrition, those guys are going to keep taking it on, really.
Although, as we said, with the Iron Hands, they count as double the number of wounds. So that, for example, counts as 10. It's full. Whereas if you knock down these Crimson Fist ones, they're going to start hitting on some rubbish numbers, which is going to cause them a problem. But of course, it doesn't matter if you're hitting on rubbish numbers if you're not alive at all to hit. So if you take out these Whirlwinds, that could be doing a lot of damage. Because if you keep pumping these Whirlwinds into this Leviathan, firstly, I don't think you kill it. But even with those odds, if you don't kill it, you're now losing the ability to kill anything point at all, which is a disaster. Especially considering now, if Jade so much as kills a unit, that's 2 points, and then 1 off for you, so it's a literal 3-pointer. You're losing a point, Jay is gaining 2. That is an incredible swing, so he needs to remove something, and he needs to remove it now. Otherwise, Jay could start running away with points.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It is anyone's game, which is not what we expected, especially when we said it was going to come down to that first turn. So, egg on my face. Egg on my face. As well.
So it looks like the Dreadnought's going to be firing next. That's a Mortis Dreadnought, and that's firing at the Eliminators on the top side.
Well, they might not die. There's not quite as many shots.
No,
he's only got las cannons.
He's got 4 las cannons. He's got a Cyclops missile launcher on top. Missile launcher on top of it.
They are going to punch through pretty drastically in the wrong situation. They're in cover though. So
that's a couple of 5s that's been rolled for saves. That's not bad. What a jammy person.
Who doesn't like that? Oh, no, they're all dead. It's a las cannon, right? So it's -4.
Is it -4 or -3?
-3. -3. But it's enough to go past our arm save, or make it a 6 up.
Armor. It depends if they're defining this as a hill or not. Because if they're defining it as a hill, it doesn't give cover saves. Whereas if they are defining it as just a piece of terrain, it would. So those 5s would have been enough to save. I guess they're defining it as a hill.
There we go. There is a cheeky Smash Captain ready to play. There he is.
It's a really nice model, actually.
The Iron Hand Smashy Boy. Yeah, and I really like the axe with it as well. So, even though I'm sure it's a Thunder
Just for context, in the L that Jay is occupying, that is where he is hiding. So if you look at this L up here, on the top floor, you can see it just here next to that red dice. Let me just delete that one. There you go. That's where the Smash Captain is, ready to pounce and take out anything that tries to.
Well, I mean, surely in this situation, Smash Captain's got these Centurions to go in. Although that's a lot of Overwatch, but he can hide here and then do the charge.
Exactly, you've got it.
I reckon actually, looking at it, Jay's in a really strong place.
He is, and also especially with that Leviathan still being alive. So if Jay now shoots at these Centurions,
that's why he bought Liam a beer.
What you probably because he knew what was going to happen. He felt really bad about him. Yeah, he just got him drunk. So that was the plan. So you'd probably remove 3, 4. That's the order in which you'd remove the Centurions, because that also removes the length of the charge for the Smash Captain. Although, there's quite a lot of Marines still inside this L. Those could be potential targets for that Smash Captain.
Nah, I reckon, do you know what? Knowing that the Smash Captain's there now in this situation, what I would actually argue to do is get the Relic Leviathan, go for just the Whirlwinds, yeah? Right, and ignore what you just said. Like maybe do the intercessor bolt of firing. No, what I mean by that is you're right. That's a weakness there, removing those guys. But the whirlwinds here, yeah, they can trade off quite nicely. Yeah, the Chaplain Dread can trade off quite nicely.
Yeah,
as is the Relic Leviathan. So really, just let the Smash Captain go in, deal with a couple of them. They don't have invulnerable saves. Yeah, and then in the counterplay, they have to deal with the Smash Captain. Yeah, they have to deal with the Smash Captain, which means that leaves this shooting free. They could trade back this turn.
Well, even if I was the Smash Captain, I'd be tempted to do something a little bit tricky. So, you can take out the Leviathan here. The Leviathan and the 2 whirlwinds, shooting 4 whirlwinds, as you said.
Well, we've just seen this whirlwind in the bottom right-hand corner, just to hold your horses. The Crimson Fist are firing into it from their whirlwinds. So we might be about to see this previously healed whirlwind take some damage.
I don't think it matters too much. So what you end up with, 9 damage through, so that's a few DPR rolls.
Yeah, so he's only got 5, so he needs to make 6 saves.
First of all, we're making the assumption that this Leviathan is going to be in range. So that has an 8-inch move and then a 24-inch range. So it needs to be within 30 inches, 32 inches of this, and then it can shoot that on the backhand side. But what you could do, now that whirlwind has died, didn't explode, that means the Tech Marine demo is fine. It also means that these engineers are completely untouched by any of the shooting from the side of lane. But here's what I was going to suggest. Is either Smash Captain at the top here. We're talking about charging it into the Centurions and not actually shooting any of the Centurions, because if you do, you're going to mean that you're going to make your charge range longer. Well, you can charge for your Captain and then not use the Thunder Hammer. And the reason why I say that is, if you use a Thunder Hammer, you could potentially kill 2 Centurions, in which case you pull the 2 Centurions out that are closest to it, and then you are out of combat, assuming that the 3-inch pile-in doesn't reach the rest of your Centurions. That means you can then shoot with your Centurions, but if you use just basic hands and not your Thunder Hammer, that means you won't kill the Centurions, but you have locked them down, which means they can't then shoot in the next turn because they can't fall out and shoot.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Just locking them down is probably more worthwhile than even killing them.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't mind killing some.
That would be nice. But that's being greedy, Rob.
Oh
dear. So we've just had a bit of feedback from the table where apparently the intercessors at the back are now shooting the intercessors at the front. So I would imagine these intercessors are shooting these intercessors. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're looking to whittle each other. Let me just tell you about what this would look like if you were just, let's say you're just an Orc boy on a day out, or maybe even just an Admech fella.
This looks like Istvan 4.
On a chair. You're just like, there is a lot of bolter rounds in this environment. I am sick to death of how much bolter fire I am witnessing.
I think we're just enjoying the fact that we've just been told intercessors are shooting intercessors as though it's nothing, because intercessors are just so good, and so are Space Marines.
Yeah, it's going to be just nothing but bolters from here on in. We're at the end. We're at the end of the turn, so that's everything. It's pretty good. Let's look at those secondaries and get those points updated. 6/6. He's got Big Game Hunter. Yep.
Cool. So Big Game Hunters come in.
Big Game Hunters come in.
And we've had Kill 1, and then I think we're going to get Hold 1 as well. Yep, there it is. So we've got the 7 points that have come in there. So that looks pretty standard turn from Liam. The only concern is I'm not sure he's done enough to really break the back of Jay's ability to shoot. Even with that Scorpius down on turn 1, we could see he still has a lot of quality shooting that can come out, and now those Centurions are out in the open.
Yeah, they're not in a good spot at all, and I just do not know what they're going to do in this situation. I think the Crimson Fist are against it right now.
It is worth pointing out, though, they do have 2 command points left, which means they have enough for transhuman physiology, which would make it a bit of a pain to remove those Centurions.
Does that take them up to toughness 6?
It means that you can't wound them on a 1, 2, or a 3 unmodified roll,
right?
Which is very, very good against very hefty weaponry. Although one of these Centurions here
like
has
these storm cannon arrays.
Yes, exactly. One of these Centurions has taken 2 wounds because it died, and then it came back because of the apothecary. So that Centurion is on 1 wound. The remainder are all on their normal.
I think just fire all the intercessors in it. I agree. I reckon just send a bunch of bolts and then just deal with the whirlwinds. Yeah. Like you now, because he's now against it in the whirlwind game. He's down to 1 versus 2. I think taking these out is actually more important. You could throw the other whirlwind in as well if you really wanted to. Like, this is the turn though. Smash Captain straight away. Movement. We know what's happening. He's there and we know where he's going. Yeah, he's going. I reckon the right decision is to go into these. And like you said, even if he doesn't engage with them, like if he gets a long charge, I mean that doesn't look like more 4 or 5 inches. If he gets a really big charge, like you were saying about the removal, that you're talking about that if he only goes there. If he gets around and he gets in, then he's just going to be thunder hammering for days.
So if you go into the middle one, you can just kill 2, and then you just pile in anyway.
And, and I'm right in thinking because it's
and this also
hold on, it's Jay's turn, so we need to see he's active. So, he's got 3 CP, so he can fight twice.
He can, yes. So here's the interesting point I want to make here. When you shoot the Centurions, normally you take them off from the front, right? Well, the wounded Centurion is at the back. That's the first model that has to be removed.
Yep.
So that model is going to die, and then you can start taking off from the front afterwards. So you've got a little bit of a buffer before you start having to take off those Centurions that are going to elongate your charge range by going down.
Right, so we're seeing intercessors now slowly being moved around. He's just measuring out and make sure they're in the right place. Then we're going to see this Leviathan Dreadnought come out, and also look at those intercessors. It's quite interesting to watch this for me. Like I've played a lot of Age of Sigmar. I'm very much enjoying watching this screening that's being done by these 40k players. Mainly just to ensure that what they want to do is that their units can fire after, because obviously you have to fire into the unit into the unit. You can't fire even if you're in combat, right?
Yeah.
Right? But what's nice is watching the screening occur, to stop those combat units. Oh, that's a lovely shot.
That's a nice shot.
He's on it.
They're on the march.
Get out there and shoot him!
He's going to stick a mirror on his gun and poke it around the side.
He's just like shouting at everyone else. He's like, I'm not going out there, but you guys need to go out there.
It's a fake Iron Hand.
Now, one of the other things that you can't forget about that brick of Devastated Centurions at the back is the squad is near a Primaris Ancient with a banner. Yeah? It's okay. Right? And then that banner is going to have a big impact because it means each one of those, now they're not going to have their special stratagems used on them, but each one of those Devastated Centurions that gets murdered is going to be able to fire back at the same time. But having watched them in the last turn do a huge amount of shots into the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought, he made all the saves.
Didn't do so many. No.
Didn't do so many, didn't do so well, so I don't think he's
those are all going to get healed back anyway.
They are.
It also means that these engineers' points have been left relatively untouched, which means that Jay is going to start harvesting those points now as it's turn 2. So 1 engineer's point for holding either of these 2 objectives with his engineer units, although they've disappeared as I was talking about that, so that's okay. So, it's alright, it's fine, we can make it work, it's good. So, either way, that's going to be at least 1 point for Jay. If it was in the new rules, I believe it would be 2, as Nekos was saying earlier, although I haven't really looked at them too much personally because ITC and stuff. So, just having a look and seeing exactly what's left of the Crimson Fist in here. It looks like Jay is just coordinating what he thinks he's going to shoot with. Looks like it's going to be pretty strong turn for him.
Okay, well, look, that bunker doesn't look as safe as it once did.
It looks very rusty all of a sudden.
It does look. Yeah. It looks like the red hand of justice is coming. It's not looking safe. There he is. Look at the little bunker now. Then there's all sorts of Space Marine heroes egging on all the other Space Marine heroes. Yeah,
someone's been to Japan and got a lot of new models.
Yeah, that's okay. Those Centurions at the back.
Whoopsie, Jay has forgotten the heal.
Okay.
Don't know what's going to happen.
So we're into the shooting phase? Is that what I'm hearing now?
That's a whoopsie.
So we're in the shooting phase. So it turns out that Jay forgot to do any of his healing at the end of his movement phase. So that means that we're not going to see that Relic Leviathan Dreadnought get any of his heals on, which is a bit of a shame. Not that I think that I honestly think that at this stage, Jay is in the commanding lead.
There it is. So we're talking about what the potential possibilities could be into the Centurion.
So Leviathan Dreadnought's gone for it.
Leviathan Dreadnought's gone for it. And transhuman physiology has been used, which means Liam is out of command points. But those Centurions are 4 pluses.
Do you think that's bait?
At best.
Do you think that's bait?
Possibly. Yeah.
Because he knows that transhuman physiology is coming out. Yeah. Obviously, the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought's going to do tons of damage. But he has a bunch of other shots, yeah? And then he's going to be, I suppose... Like, where's the Smash Captain really going to go?
He's going to go straight in that bunker and mess everybody up.
Yeah, I reckon he's going into the bunker. I reckon he's going into the bunker.
He's going to take his flamethrower and he's going to jump in the bunker.
He's going to get heroically intervened by everything. I think he's going through here.
He's going for the Mortis Dread.
I think he's going for the Mortis Dread. He's going for that to get exploded. And I think that that's going to be a very solid
This could be brutal.
This could be brutal. Don't forgetting that, there we go, that here's the wound rolls. No, these are the save rolls coming in right now. No, they're the wound rolls, sorry. You can only wound. You can only wound on 4, 5s, and 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gone pretty well.
Only 3 fails there. That was 9 wounds.
It's gone pretty well.
That's not bad, is it, mate?
I'll take that.
That transhuman was not very valuable.
No, I mean it would be against other dice rolls. Yeah. But in that situation, that's not gone very well as well.
I thought it was 50-50. Either it dies or it doesn't.
So strong cannon rate is -3.
None
of those are good saves.
No,
let me tell you, none of those.
No, I don't see many 5s or 6s.
No saves. Is what's happened. So that is...
Although he didn't fire with the intercessors, as we said he probably should, because one had 1 model left.
So already, that
dead.
one at the back, 2 dead.
Oh, and he's taken some wounds as well. That's them pretty much crippled. I think what Liam's now realised is, look, those Centurions, they're gone. They're not so useful.
The Centurions had their turn.
They did. But now maybe if I leave them out, I can bait Jay into charging at them with the Smash Captain rather than going into the bunker.
I don't see that as being the case. I think what
you might as well try.
Maybe, but I think what happened in the turn before he made his play. If we go to the top down, when he brought that unit of Centurions out, he brought them out and he went, "I'm going for the move. I'm going for the Relic Leviathan."
And then he went boing,
and then it just didn't happen. Like previously, and you need only look at that as a tactic before. He's done this already. We saw a Relic Leviathan Dreadnought with the Ironstone. He played before. He played against it with the Atreus Iron Hands army in round 3, and it just one-shotted.
Yeah. So we've got...
So currently there's a unit of intercessors... eliminators.
Over here.
And they are shooting.
Here.
And they are going to try and take them out. That's the plan right now. That unit of devastators... I
just gave it hair.
Honestly, this is going to be Iron Hands' game, it looks like.
I think so, yeah.
The Dread Captain, if he goes in... Yeah, he's going to, I think, maybe go take out that other Dreadnought. If he's able to go get it in. Oh, but look at the others. Look at this little Thunderhammer Sergeant.
Sergeant,
Yeah, looking for the countercharge.
You say as he stands in the back of the deployment zone, doing nothing.
It's countercharger. That's what his job is.
If someone comes, he's going to get him.
He's going to get him. Whenever I'm found at the back of a war, someone says, "What are you doing?" I'm a countercharger. Yeah, that's my skills.
You're not a senior officer in World War I.
Nah, I'm a counterpuncher.
Like Stephen Fry's character in Blackadder.
Yeah.
We smash him with his Thunderhammer.
I'm not Lord Melchett.
Lord Melchett.
Yeah, but you definitely are Captain Darling.
This is Lord Melchett, and here is Commander Flashheart flying straight into the middle.
Yeah, so we've got more shooting in the shooting phase right now. We've got these intercessors shooting into these intercessors. Great work, Scrivo. Right there. And they're going to be taken out from the back. It's picking little units off, but specifically going for kill more, because there wasn't a lot of things killed. We have this unit of eliminators was killed.
And 1 whirlwind.
And 1 whirlwind was killed. Right. That's 2.
But also, here's another point. If you can remove this squad here, you're also attacking Liam's ability to score the hold 1 point. And the reason for this is, if you remove this, where's he going to get his objective? Well, this one is obviously not going to be contested. It's too far up the board. The 3 in the middle, are you going to walk into the middle of that Iron Hands brick? I doubt it. That's probably a bad idea. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to step back and try and hold this back objective. Now, if you remove that unit, you're always going to have to take something and throw it back. Now, you could put a character back there. That might be the sensible choice. Just because if you can put the character there, it can't be shot at. Although, if this Smash Captain stays alive, that's something you can go hunting without too much of a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, who in the chat is rooting for either of these armies?
Who's voting for Space Marines?
I know there's a lot of people rooting for Liam, all of his Goonhammer bros in the chat. Jay is looking to take it. Do you know much about Jay? He's former member of the Team Wales for the ETC.
No, so Jay used to play with me on a team back in 2016. It was more like a domestic team, so he's not played for Wales, but we played together and went to quite a few team tournaments. And he was repeatedly bounced under the bus as our first defender and would always come up with points for us.
Really?
Yeah, he did well.
Wow, good job.
He took the suffering on the chin, and he did very, very well.
So is this his vengeance now, to play Iron Hands and just do as he wishes?
Yes, he's now allowed to just go nuts.
Whoa!
So something incredible just happened.
Yeah, the Chaplain Dread. The Chaplain Dread has just decided to absolutely nuke a Whirlwind.
12 wounds.
12
with
wounds.
Its 2 shots.
Did he
That's
just roll
a double
double six? Did he just roll double six?
Look at poor Liam. He's just sat there. Look at him. He looks
This Chaplain Dread just
one shot a Whirlwind.
Oh my!
He only has 11 wounds.
Oh my!
He did 1 extra wound just for spite.
The Emperor does not protect.
Does not protect.
That's all I know now.
He's decided which ones are his real Marines. Oh dear, the Whirlwind is having a fire as well. It's shooting at these intercessors on the backside.
Oh, that's clever as well. Looking to make it so they can't even start to hold.
Yeah, he has to start moving back.
He's going to have to start moving units to hold as well.
Yeah.
And also, like, look at this. He's going to be holding this objective. He now isn't holding the objective at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's holding this objective here, and he's holding this objective because of a charge before. So he's got hold more. He's going to get kill more again.
Can I talk about something really exciting?
Go for it.
Bonus points.
Bonus points.
So this is the character. That Leviathan Dread is a character.
It is.
Where can it stand? This objective. 1 objective held by a character.
And
Next
what does that
objective. If you get 3 objectives with characters within securing distance of them, you get a bonus point.
Way. No one doesn't want a bonus point.
And when you're 7-7, although Jay hasn't finished counting up yet,
do you know that ITC actually call those mission points?
No. But I'm calling them bonus points. Get Honest Wargamer, tSports Network, copyright, bonus points. That's what we've had. Yeah, I'm claiming it.
If you guys are watching live, you actually are.
tSports Network missions.
Yeah.
Like ITC, but with different terminology. Last intercessor has gone down as well, which means it's going to need to move something.
Does that mean bonus points? I don't know.
It does not mean bonus points.
That's
it
all I want.
means
All I
points.
want is bonus points. Yeah, this is all I need in my life. Is bonus points. Okay, listen, the Iron Hands are just displaying why they are such an offensive army to play, right?
Well, an offensive army to watch. It's a lot of damage.
Also that.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Imagine nuking with Scorpius, the scariest thing in the army, and then it turns around and blows your army off the table.
Yeah.
Despite meant to be one of the most defensive
I'm genuinely
Marines.
disappointed by because you guys may have not seen in the last round, but in the last round, those 6 devastated Centurions took out two Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
Or they took out 1 Imperial Knight and everyone else took out the other Imperial.
Well, the army did.
Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
They're still Knights.
2 Knights in 1 shooting phase.
Wasn't bad, was it?
Alive to dead. Yeah. And now. Yep. So. Centurions, which he clearly wanted to do. That was a failure of the Centurions in the last turn. Yeah, but then he could not have guaranteed or relied on that Chaplain Dreadnought to use his las cannons and take out that Whirlwind. That was just pure bonus point luck.
Well, also
that's bonus points.
He's legitimately got a bonus point off it because we were talking earlier about the kill more points. Well, Liam's killed a Whirlwind and a unit of Eliminators, right? Oh. It's on this hill, doesn't matter, whatever. So, you need to kill 2 to match it, or 3 to beat it. Well, you've killed a unit of Intercessors, you've killed a unit of Centurions, right? Well now, because you've been able to snipe out this silly Whirlwind at the back, you've just killed 3 units. That's a point to you. That's alright.
Bonus point. That's kill more.
Points.
That's kill more.
That is kill more. Is that also our term now? I'll have that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can steal that as a term.
We'll have that
as a
too.
term.
There we go. So, I'm more interested now in, is there a way for Liam to come back into this game?
Well, let's
I'm not entirely sure what he's got left at the minute, apart from his mortars that can really hurt this army.
Well, so he's got his own
Smash
Captain.
He does, yes.
Right, so he's got his own Smash Captain. So we
Still
could
got
have
a Whirlwind.
We could have a Smash Captain versus Smash Captain fight. I would say that one of the good things that I've seen happening is I've seen some good reducing of those intercessor squads. Yeah, so there's a lot less units, and there we go. We've seen
Mortis has moved down
the
towards
Mortis
the bottom side
is
of the L.
out, and he is looking to pop. Surely you got to deal with this Relic Leviathan at this stage. If the Relic Leviathan doesn't go down,
so the litanies have gone off. The first litany has been cast on the Mortis Dread, and it is +1 to hit, which means it's hitting on a 2+ there. Unfortunately, the +1 to wound again failed.
Actually, can we cycle back? In the round before, when we did see the Devastating Centurions try to fire, we heard about 2 litanies not happening, and they would be the +1 to hit and the +1 to wound litanies.
They did, yeah.
Both of which didn't go on the Devastating Centurions, right? And you elect to do that. You elect to do them after you move.
You do that at the start of the battle round. So Liam made that choice knowing
that he didn't have
them.
That's
he still
upsetting.
Felt he needed to do it.
Yeah, that's really tough. That's really tough.
That might be one of those decisions he looks back at and thinks, maybe I should have waited.
Potentially. I mean, he was winning the long shot war, right? He was winning the long shot war, so he didn't have to involve himself. Maybe, but then maybe he just had to. It's a lot. What do you guys in the chat think? I'm very interested. Thanks for joining us for this event. If you ever want to make it your way over to Cardiff and Wales, there's a really exciting venue here.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, really cool.
I think Jay's gone for more beers as well.
In Wales is just wicked. Yeah, Jay has actually gone for a couple of beers. He's also done a little dance.
He also doesn't have any beers.
He's also, and this is very exciting, he has scored 15 points.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. If you see there, he's got both hold and kill more in the past 2 rounds. And it just is going very well for him.
Do you know how many points he scored overall in that turn for Jay? 9.
Wow.
That's a big turn.
So
we are already into the shooting phase.
We are in the shooting phase of the Crimson Fists. Liam not messing about, and he is
Dreadnoughts firing on Dreadnoughts.
Yes. Yes, the
Contemptor is going to be firing at the Leviathan. Brother fights brother. Duty Eternal on the Leviathan as well to halve the amount of damage it takes, which is important because those las cannons, they can pump out a lot of damage. And also, I would also make the assumption that the Ironstone is going on.
I think he saved one of them. He saved one, so he's only going to take 1d6 damage anyway.
1d6 minus 1 at halved.
Oh my god. So he's going to take
with
no
DPR.
Damage. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
5
damage?
No, he's taken 5 damage, sorry.
That's some DPR going in there?
So he's only taken 3 damage.
Alright, okay. I think I might have got something mixed up there. That's okay. We'll win.
It's alright, they just not roll the right boxes, so it's no
Oh
stress.
no, his Marine shoot things. That was
nice.
Clappers in the chat for Liam.
So the heals that were previously forgotten, Liam has been like, "That's cool. Don't you worry about it. You do your heals." So
I know they play each other a lot as well.
So yeah. They're super nice guys.
They're both Bristol boys.
First time I've got to meet them both, and they both seem like heroes.
I think, mate, given that we've come to an event in Wales and the 2 people on the final are both Bristolians, we need some more Welsh representation.
We do.
You're
a huge fan of the Welsh people.
Some could say I pretend to be Welsh.
Yeah, often.
And frequently and
right,
force.
so into the shooting phase still. This Whirlwind is now shooting into the Smash Captain, hoping to deal with him, and he's only taken 2 wounds.
Which means he's failed 1 save.
It does mean he's failed 1 save. That does feel like
5 wounds remaining.
Yeah,
3 wounds remaining.
Maybe the rest of the shooting comes in. I suppose he's got nothing really to fight him with, so it really does have to be the question. I'm just going to find out from our table boss: is there a Crimson Fist Smash Captain knocking around?
The Lieutenant's gone into him as well. The Lieutenant has done 2 damage to that Smash Captain as well, looking very, very flimsy on his feet. Although if he does live, that's going to be a nice one. CP reroll is coming in to save the damage. See if we can get that through. See if he can save any more. Doesn't really want to have to fire any more into that Smash Captain either. Chaplin's having a go.
We'll just find out if there is a Crimson Fist Smash Captain.
1 more damage from Chaplin. That means we are down to either 1 or 2 wounds on the Smash Captain. It's looking very low. 2 wounds remaining. We don't really want to have to fire too much more into it. Because if you do, look at where the Smash Captain is. There isn't too much drawing line of sight here either. Look, you can see Liam bending over the table to have a nice look at it. So, you fired the Mortis, you fired the characters around here, you fired the Whirlwind, and they've all gone into the Smash Captain, and they haven't killed it yet.
They haven't.
What else have you got left,
But
man?
let me tell you, there isn't a Crimson Fist Smash Captain I've discovered.
There is not.
Which is harder to discover than I thought.
I thought there were fewer turns than there were last time. We're all rubbish. Kappa.
Don't worry. Yeah, him not going down is...
they're charging the Smash Captain with intercessors now as well.
Can I just talk about Liam?
Of course you can.
Liam is playing fast now because he knows that this is all but concluded. Like he made his shot, like he took it, like he went for it, and that Relic Leviathan just really showing why they exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, half damage.
Yeah.
-1 the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, is just crazy with a 6+ DPR. Just means that those things are just sticking around. Then he healed it after. So there's just nothing. There's nothing you can do. He just took his shot and it didn't happen.
That's true. He had his shot and he blew it, or it just wasn't.
Well,
successful.
just the unit didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like that's some of the like.
It wasn't his fault, obviously.
No, I think he played a good game. I think he played the right way. I think he made the right decisions. I think what happened was when he finally got the move he wanted, it just didn't work out.
Do you remember earlier when we were talking about... So, earlier, do you want to mention that? Sorry.
I would just like to say a unit of intercessors, not captains, I just want you to know.
A unit of captains.
Recruits. A unit of new recruits with a sergeant in there, charged through a wall.
Do they have a Thunderhammer?
They did. One of them did have a Thunderhammer, and they find a Smash Captain on the other side, and then they smoked him.
They decided to do some home renovations, and on the other side is a Space Marine Smash Captain. Bonk.
He is dead.
Through. So earlier, Rob, I think we were having a conversation off air about the advantages of playing quickly. And one of the advantages of playing quickly was your ability to bamboozle your opponent to not understanding what you're doing. Big brain take, that's what Liam's doing. He's going to confuse Jay until Jay just sweeps all of his models off with his arm and Liam wins again.
Nope, not happening.
Okay.
Not happening. This is now purely a game of deep consolidation.
It is.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing.
I feel like that's a rather long and eloquent way of describing this. Another phrase that I've used earlier in this event.
Yeah. He's gonna consolidate and secure this victory now. I'm pretty certain.
Lock it down.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that what we're going to see is we're going to see a dead Relic Dreadnought there. We're going to see a dead Whirlwind, and at that point, the Crimson Fist have lost everything. I mean, they've already lost some pretty major elements, right? 2 Whirlwinds. They've lost that Devastator Centurion squad, and then a lot of the characters that are encircled here are all just buff pieces. If you want to see the list, you just either can type !! list or you can. There you go.
There you go, Scriver.
They're just in the chat, so you can just see. I don't imagine the Iron Hands list is going to be a shock or surprise to anyone.
No, I feel like it's going to be one of those that appears in Panda's rundown on Reddit.
Yeah, you
like Iron Hands, Crimson Fists.
Yeah, or it will be one of those.
No,
it will be one of those lists that you see posted into a Facebook group. Hey, just thinking about getting into 40k. Yeah. What does anyone think of my list? You were like, well, yes, I've seen that so many times. Stop posting it in a Facebook group.
First time petting a model, by the way, and it's that Sistine Chapel Land Raider that I put on Twitter like a couple of years ago. Yeah. That's gonna be how it works. Although that said, not necessarily a bad turn from Liam in terms of points scored. He's still got 3 points, but not a great turn, and not a lot of the output has been stopped either. So it looks like Jay's going to be spreading out, trying to get those bonus points.
It is.
We're talking about that Leviathan, as you can see, already stood on that central objective.
Because he also obviously is going to try and consolidate not only this victory but his points all across the board. You know, I feel for Liam actually in this game, because I feel like he played a real solid game.
Yeah, he has.
And then what's happened is just the units let him down. I don't think he's made some poor decisions. I think he's done the right things. I think taking that Scorpius early was good. Yeah, he forced those Whirlwinds back. He had all of the concentration. It's just the rules for Iron Hands are dumb.
So as we can see,
I mean, all other Space Marines are also dumb as well. But
there's always something that has dumb rules.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to get used to it. So Leviathan's on here. The Apothecary's on this objective. That's 2 objectives for the bonus point. And then if you look carefully at the back objective on the right-hand side of the table, the Tech Marine that ran down to the bottom corner earlier to heal the Whirlwind has now left that area, now that it's realised the Whirlwind is no more, and run up towards the top side to be able to stand on that objective.
Bonus point!
That's going to secure a bonus point for Jay.
Oh my god.
I'm really excited to see another bonus point.
One of the first bonus points
we see. It's the third one we've seen.
Yeah, it's the third one we've seen all event on the coverage.
On the stream.
On the stream. It's been ludicrous, those bonus points.
Absolutely wild. There it is. Look at this lovely Tech Marine desk.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Scribbo's messing with me. That's okay.
Okay, so this is still the movement phase, and I think a good mark of what of Jay's game style and playing is he clearly is making sure that he's done all his movement right before he engages.
Yeah, he's very careful. He's making sure he doesn't do anything silly. He's just making sure that he's nice and methodical about how to close this game.
So we're into the shooting phase now. We are into the shooting phase, and this is going to be now where I think the game is just going to take a dark turn.
I mean, possibly. I'm being optimistic as ever.
I think it's going to be pretty rough for whoever is involved, and I think I know who's involved. Jay's involved, and Liam is involved,
and all of our table bosses are involved.
Yeah, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
It's but let's just say it's not going well.
This is true. Well,
look at that lovely shot. That apothecary isn't having to work too hard.
We've got a nice shot of Andy in the background as
well. Yeah, he's not having to work too hard. Nowhere near as hard as the Crimson Fist apothecary. He's having to work really hard.
I feel like the apothecary's just thrown his tools away and just walked off.
So the Leviathan Dreadnought is now firing at the Contemptor Dreadnought. Everyone's down to 0 CPs. It's all just rolling the dice, playing the game. But it is 2s rolling 1s. So is what we're seeing here from the Storm Cannon array.
Yeah, but should I would expect to remove that Contemptor, especially as Liam doesn't have any command points to do anything. Also, he's not.
But it also gives that apothecary who's next to him the job.
Well, it doesn't, because he can't heal the.
He's narratively given the job.
Oh, I'm so missed.
Yeah, to grab the gene seed. Yeah, he
hasn't learned to repair mechanics, bro.
What's better, apothecary or Techmarines? It looks like it's Techmarines.
I know, man.
Looks like Techmarines.
One's named, one isn't. We need a named apothecary.
Yeah, heal the wounds or heal the flesh.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The flesh is weak.
Heal
the rends.
Yeah, that's it.
Heal the gouges. Yes. Indeed.
So this is we're just looking for the save rolls now, as we've just seen. 12 wounds through.
That's a lot of wounds.
That's a lot of wounds, but 1 6-up save I think will save it. So he's got 1 wound left. There we go. Only the 1-6. But there's a bunch of intercessors who definitely want to just be plinking some shots in there.
Yep,
I reckon they're going to see that go through. We've still got a whirlwind at the back of the board. Yeah. There we go. A whole bunch of Space Marine characters. Pedric Cantor, who's just stood there, who's like, "Come on, boys!
As we saw
stop
earlier,
letting me down."
We said that Jay needed to remove these intercessors at the back, so you'd have to move something else on there. Well, that's happened now. All the characters have moved to the back. The Super Friends are stood on there together, holding hands and shaking as the apocalypse comes raining down upon them. That is the Iron Hand shooting phase. Right, the Contemptor's gone as well.
Contemptor has now died.
Look at all those mortal wounds that apply if it exploded.
He didn't explode.
That's a shame.
Ty Winning says he quite likes the hero hammer aspect.
Makes it more of a skirmish game until you hit like a 200-model horde.
Well, no, it actually makes sense for Space Marines, right?
Oh, yes, 100%.
You know, they are all effectively superheroes. That's the
until you turn up with 60 intercessors.
That's the narrative idea. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So I think this may even be one of the last units available that aren't characters. So once those go down, those characters are open for shooting fish in a barrel. There's also intercessors under here as well, so that's 2 squads of intercessors available. Once those have been removed, those characters are going to be open season.
Yeah, they are. They're like this squad here. There's a squad here, so they're going to go down. Or the apothecary, though, in a mark of disrespect to anyone who heals flesh, and because they don't want any of the gene seed to be picked up for the Crimson Fist, the Eliminators are shooting at them, looking to take their head off.
I don't think we need to worry about the gene seed being picked up by the Iron Hands, because their gene seed is clearly superior on this one.
Superior.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
And he's gone. Yeah.
Oh no. Can I get an apothecary for my apothecary, please? That's my question.
Apothecary reception.
Pedric Cantor now got his fist raised in the air. He is livid. Look at this chaplain. He's both of them are like, come on, boys, try harder.
These are the intercessors.
All of the heroes, the lieutenant at the back. It seems to be a mark of Crimson Fist heroes that you just put your hand in the air, like you just don't care, and they're like, come on. Yeah, let's get the fury.
This has got so chill, even the players are listening to the commentators. I feel like that's metagaming. We can't allow this kind of behaviour.
Oh, okay.
Looks like. So you know the intercessors in the L. They could be hard to remove. You only have one Thunderfire Cannon and one Whirlwind left.
However, in the assault phase...
you don't care. You just had this. The intercessors just charged into the Smash Captain early, didn't they? And now they're getting charged back. What goes around comes around, Rob.
But they rolled a double 6 for the charge.
They really want it.
It seems that Jay can't stop rolling double 6s.
I feel like we need to get... I've got
We
a
need
bottle of water
We're
here.
just going to double
Do you
check
have some
Jay's
salt?
dice at the end of the game, which is a joke, obviously, that we're making. So into the assault phase now, and look, this is game. This is absolutely game.
I feel like if Jay's dice were that good, he would have gone first as well. But thankfully, he was very courteous to the stream and made it somewhat competitive for a couple of
did,
turns.
absolutely. And I think that Liam has played a cracking game. He's played a cracking few games on the stream. I think if you go back and watch, you can see over 3 games of his, and those Crimson Fists have done work. But when finally braced up against this particular type of Iron Hands list, it's very, very close. Liam, by the way, that was Liam. I'm talking about Jay. Yesterday just got through against an Eldari match by 1 point.
Yes.
1 point yesterday.
One could say the tip of a falcon's wing.
Exactly. So close, that game. It was very close. Anyone could have taken away. So at this stage, like it's a bit disappointing that this is the way it's gone, but it's also really exciting.
It was very close the first couple of rounds. It could have been an absolute blowout, and it wasn't for about an hour. But I feel like it's now that it's swung Jay's way, it's one of those where it's very.
We'll just see what Jay's able to score at the end of this round, which I think is good. But Liam's response, he's got Pedric Cantor. Am I saying that right?
Pedro Cantor.
Pedro.
Yeah, Podrick. Podrick Cantor.
Podrick Payne?
He's now called Podrick Cantor.
He's now called Podrick Cantor because he's a lot smaller
Podrick
than the heroes anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, and as we know, Pod is actually the true hero of Game of Thrones.
As we do, yes.
Unlike the scriptwriters.
True.
And then at the back, he's also got a chaplain.
Yes, that is true.
And I think
there's a lieutenant back there as well.
And there's a lieutenant and the whirlwind.
Oh dear. I'm just hearing from the table the intercessors that are in the ruin have now been wrapped and trapped, meaning the intercessors that charge them cannot be shot at.
All I can say is there aren't enough dudes. Yeah,
there are never enough in the 41st
millennium.
There are not enough
dudes, specifically Crimson Fist dudes. I mean, his response is going to be very limited, if anything. It's going to be a huge point, because this is only Jay's third turn, and he took the bottom of the turn. Going into Liam's turn 4, he really hasn't got a lot to respond with, and he's definitely got nothing to threaten the rest of the game. It's really, it's just all over at this point. He's just going to be racking the points and taking it away.
That points difference in there isn't fully representative. You're just waiting for us to clock in on our systems, because you've got 1 point for killing 1 point for holding 1 bonus point as well. You'll then have, I believe you would have got, no, it wouldn't have been kill more because he's only killed 1 unit, hasn't he? Yeah. So it's 1 each, so you haven't got an extra thing, but you have got 1 for hold more, so it's another 4 points basic, and then you've still got your secondaries to come in as well. So that's at least 3 extra points in there for Jay. It's a really big mountain to climb, man.
It is a big mountain to climb, absolutely. Yeah, so the intercessors in this little shape here that we at this stage, really, the L's need to be named. Left L, right L. As in, like, we need narrative names for them. I
think we call it
Lucy
Palm and Beak. This is the bird.
Yeah. Next time we'll just paint them different colours, blue and red.
Yeah. There you go.
Fun. Yeah,
there we go. We'll make it like a boxing ring.
We'll put some LED lights in there.
We'll get our own set of terrain.
System. We'll just make it. We will get our own terrain. Probably made by someone like the amazing Dark Fantastic Mills, and it'll look wicked. Yeah, very much looking forward to our sponsored boards in the future. A lot of people don't know that that's coming, but we're going to have boards sponsored in the future that you'll be able to see on. However, the terrain here is obviously already fantastic at this event.
Very, very useful. Very, very good.
Very useful. Bonus point has been scored. There you go, Tom. You happy about that?
Bonus point has been scored.
Finally, Tom's over the moon.
I just lifted off.
Yeah, it's very rare to see someone score bonus points. We've seen almost none. Yesterday, in 9 games, we saw 1 bonus point scored.
We scored 2 bonus points scored.
2.
So we've had 12 games and 3 bonus points, so an average of 0.25 bonus points per game. That's not bad at all.
It seems almost worth it. Yeah.
It is. The bonus point is worth it. Because you have a bonus point.
Now, unfortunately for Liam, he's just got some intercessors to move forward. He's got a couple of characters, but he's not going to give up the ghost.
No, never give up.
Yeah, there's now an 11 point lead for Jay. I think Liam's played a blinder. I just want to say congratulations to him for playing such a. I mean, I know he's also bought Marines as well, and they are hefty nasty. and they are hefty nasty. But you know, these Iron Hands, like, there's a reason they're the bad guys at 40k, and it's nice to see them win. You know, I don't normally see the Iron Hands. I don't get loads of opportunities to go to 40k events at the moment, Tom.
No.
Yeah, I want to go to more this year. I'm very much looking forward to it. But I've heard a good, I've heard a good amount. One of the interesting things that we've got, thanks to Down Under Pairings, is we've got the ability to look at the faction win percentages.
Look at that, that was a smooth transition.
Yeah, so what we can do right now is we can look at our faction win percentages, but we've still got some of the results to enter from this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Eldari...
it does have a small Mr. Wakefield sample size, though, so it's not really too representative of the entire field. We do have a much better representation of the Adeptus Astartes, though, about 64.44%, looking very in line with what you normally see.
And not forgetting that those Adeptus Astartes armies often played themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
So they only lost, I would say, to themselves almost all the time. Those Chaos armies, 62%, done really well. Again, we'll just scrap the Asarani one because that's a single, but Imperium at 50%, Harlequins at 50%. But then as we start going down, Tau, underneath the radar, where are the Necrons?
They're here. They made it on the board.
They've won a game.
They won a game
They've
in
won
round
a
4.
game.
Yeah, they did the Orcs, though. So Orcs have dropped off the board.
Okay. Rats.
Nicholas is going to get you. He's going to get you.
Let's go back.
He's going to get you in the car on the way back to Nottingham.
Let's go back. I'm sad about that. The Orcs. Don't worry, I'm going to make them...
You're happy for the Necrons.
I will make them great. Huh?
But you're happy for the Necrons.
I am happy for the Necrons.
It's okay that someone stole my bicycle.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
sure
it was fun watching him lose 2 games in a row on the stream yesterday. That was hilarious fun. There could be only one.
So, the infiltrators on the top section of the board have now been deleted by the intercessors. But just came out of the cell from the combat there. There's a couple of things there.
We are just
still got fight in him.
We're just gonna let Liam have his turn on the stream because that's fair, and then we are gonna call the game because there is zero way that he has the unit's capacity, unless he's a wizard, and I don't think he is a wizard. He's not a full-time wizard anyway. Yeah, he's not a space. He hasn't even brought a space wizard with him.
No.
That's a mistake.
Well,
imagine all the smites he could have done to that Smash Captain.
Oh yeah, well, you couldn't because he couldn't see it.
Well, that's true.
But he could have jumped outside and electrocuted him like the Emperor from Star Wars. We're going to get a close-up
of our litany of heroes. Our little,
that lovely camera.
Our little gang. There they are. Oh, baby.
The last time we see them, and we cut to black.
Yeah, fade to black. What happened to them? No one will know. A mystery force. Who disappeared into the night to find more Space Marine brothers. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Pedro probably will beat him up.
Yep, Pedro will get him.
He's got a path, isn't he?
So Pedro basically killed them all, and then Pedro ran away at the board, killing everyone in his path, and the Crimson Fist won. That's what happened.
Whee! Lads, let's do it.
Lads.
Yeah, it's gone really well.
Yeah.
We're into the charge phase. I think we're going to
Pedro's going to start his rampage.
He's going to do what we said.
Yeah, everybody's piling in. We're going to love it. Literally everyone's piling in. That's not me just joking around. They are all charging.
Yeah, they are. They are.
There we go. That was easy.
They all charged. They're all in, and those intercessors are going to finally die. Can we just talk about these two? Look at these two eyeballing each other from across the room.
Making kisses. All the other Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, all the other whirlwinds are dead. And those two just radioing each other like, what's it been like firing missiles for 5 turns? Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, but don't tell anyone I'm hidden in this corner. Yeah. Don't tell anyone I'm hidden in this corner.
Don't tell them I'm still here because my other 2 brothers are dead.
Yeah, how hilarious is it that we just fire missiles for a living? Yeah, it's great. We don't have to do any work.
How many points are we again? I feel like the Whirlwinds have been the MVP of the event.
Yeah, honestly, really impressed. Like
the basic ones, not in the Scorpius, just the basic ones.
Yeah, incredible damage, incredible range, and just dealing with so many threats. And also, you've got to get to them, and there's an entire army of really hard stuff in the way. Yeah? Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my God. You are so easily triggerable.
How dare you?
This is why you're Captain Darling.
It is, yeah. All right, so it's
I'm
just
going to call you Tom Darling from now
on. That's fine. Darling, yes. Let's see how many Iron Hands and Seconds go down. Or if they turn around and whack.
Yeah, we got a shot.
Give him a good old iron slap. Line it up.
Yeah, just going to give him the boomer stick, isn't he?
The boomer stick?
The boomer stick.
Is that like a baby boomer stick?
Yeah, well. Well, Pedro. So the Pedro Cantor's just charged in because the intercessors were there, gunning him down. They were firing shots at him, and then they were just literally screaming, "Okay, Boomer!" Yeah, and he's like, "How dare you?" Just because I'm an original Space Marine, or the Boomer Marines, as I've now decided they're called. Yeah.
Where does this come from? How old are we?
They're Boomer Marines. They're the older versions.
All right, I guess. I guess we're millennials, so we're all right.
I'm not even.
Yes, you are.
I'm a Zennial.
That's after millennials.
Before.
Are you younger than me?
Older.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, you could be younger than me. I'm like
terrible commentary. We apologise to everyone listening.
We're trying to work out. It's like Test Match Special. It's all right.
Yeah, it is like the Test Match Special.
Match Special.
Yeah, Test Match Special. Yes.
That doesn't roll easily off the tongue.
The one Dark Angel player is truly part of the inner circle. Nothing can happen on Caliban. Yeah, those 10 Deathwing Knights that we saw earlier, they look great.
They did really well, to be fair.
They're really great.
Really nice looking army too. That was pretty good. So we just concluded the charge phase. Looks like Jason
concluding the combat phase. So it's this
combat
center
phase.
combat
I keep forgetting that there's 2 phases in the assault phase now.
Yeah, look. You can just come back to us. That's fine. It's the end. Hello, welcome to Tabletop Sports Network.
Because I've been slowly moving around this corner. The home of tSports.
Yeah, I got him to do it. Thank you, crew.
Early. You made me do it twice.
You know, you did it really
I can't
well.
believe you made me do that.
At the end of the day, even though I could have told you this was going to happen before we even did a weekend of coverage, the Iron Hands won. But that doesn't stop what happened this weekend, where we had a load of fun.
We did. I'm kind of point out something as well.
Yeah.
The first turn problem myth is officially dispelled.
It's dispelled. It is official. As long as you're playing Iron Hands, yeah, the first turn problem is not even an issue. Yeah. But we were like, look at the amazing weekend we had. We saw Supremacy Suits charging dudes on the ground.
Yep. We saw commanders running around hiding.
Yeah, we had Cold Star commanders. Yeah, that was really fun. Cold Star cowardice, I'd like to call that.
Carl Manders.
Yeah. We saw nothing but Eldar vehicles. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw Astraeus blow up more things.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really cool. But it's been we see Orcs and Necrons. We saw Necrons lose a lot.
We didn't see any Grey Knights, which made me very happy because I didn't have to teach all you guys what they do.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, no Grey Knights
in the building.
Yeah. But you know, the tides will turn on that. I think
they will. And that's a pun
that I made up.
And Nick stole.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a really fun weekend, and especially the guys playing on the tabletop, they look like they've had loads of fun. So no matter what you might think of the gaming environment at the moment, it does seem to be a really great game to play.
Oh yeah.
And everyone seems to be having fun, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I've been really enjoying commentating as well. When I came down and I saw the list, I was like, ooh. Lick my lips a little bit.
Oh, you enjoyed it?
I did. But I've enjoyed commentating it as well.
That's good. Well, so if you guys have enjoyed it, I just want to say a big thank you for watching. Or if you're watching back on YouTube, let people know about the games. It might be fun for them to watch and enjoy. I need to say a big thank you to everyone that's helped this weekend. So that'd be Tom, that'd be the other Tom, that'd be John and Nick. Those guys have
done secondary.
Yeah. Wow. I wouldn't say that, but obviously
we just call him Tom Wallace. He said the other Tom.
But it's been a great weekend. You'll expect more coverage from the TSN. Next weekend we've got an entire weekend of Age of Sigmar coverage. We've got more 40k coverage coming this year. It looks very fun. We've got team coverage. We've got all sorts happening this year. So if you've enjoyed what we've done, let us know. We'd like you to hit like and subscribe and all of that. But most importantly, let everyone else know. So share some videos with your gaming groups, and tune in next time.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys have been great. We're going to leave it here. So as always, not as always, but from now on, I can't remember what I'm going to say.
This is the first time we've done it.
This is the first time I'm doing it. Thank you for watching the tSports Network,
the home of tSports.
Perfect. See you soon.
Can't just leave me hanging like that.